Mute. So, yeah. Uh yes, I might have single-handedly made that his most let's just see. Let's just see if I'm right. Let's just see if I'm right. So you pull up Martin. It is. You pull up Martin on Apple Music, and his top song right now is I'm a Fan of the Ice Cream Man. So, yeah. Yes. But welcome everybody. How's it going? I mean, look, we got Ninjinzu Games here. We got Rufus the Red here. Bonobo Juice. Hello. Welcome. BPO59, aka Ricky, aka Star Fox Rain. Welcome. And Cosma is here. And yes, the movie's available to purchase on digital. Maybe. He keeps taking it on and off depending on how busy he is and if he's going to be away from the house because he doesn't want to make people wait. So if you've tried to get the movie and you couldn't, then that's why. But yes, is that who that is? I don't know who this is because I'm not a polka person. I'm not a polka man or polka woman. I don't know. All I know is that this was the badge for Retropalooza. So, but welcome. It's Order 42. I'm Rob. And yeah, we're back. We're back. But yeah. And yes, Ninjinzu Games did get Adventures in Game Chasing. So, yes. But welcome everybody. It's good to see everybody here, and we're going to hang out. We're talking about Retropalooza and some CinemaCon because there's a lot of stuff going on this week. And the next couple of weeks is going to be really interesting with video games coming out and another convention in California. It's going to be good. But yes, Apple Music. Look, I know everybody's got their thing, right? They've got their Spotify or their Google. I don't even know if Google has a thing anymore. Amazon, I don't know. All I know is I've been a fan of Apple Music since its inception because I was working there. Tidal, there's another one. Tidal, yes. And MP3 files, sure, yeah. But since I worked with Apple at the time, I say with, not for, because I was contracted to work. Anyway, yeah. And YouTube Music, yes, yeah. I guess that is a thing still. Yeah, absolutely. And CDs, records, and the old pirate. Arr. But yeah, yeah. I was working with them, so I did their stuff. But yeah, is Martin's I'm a Fan of the Ice Cream Man from the Adventures in Game Chasing soundtrack, now available everywhere. Like, as far as I know, it's available everywhere. You can purchase it, you can listen to it. It's good. It's good. But we basically listened to that song repeatedly at Retropalooza. And it was fun. It was a fun time. But how are you guys doing? What's going on? What's new? What's up? I'm waiting for you to tell me how's it going. How's it going? By the way, right now the poll is tied. Here's what we're doing, okay? So first up, these are all liquids I've tried before, but one I haven't tried in a long time. But yes, Blueberry Hill. Blueberry Hill. That is one of them. Very tasty. Very tasty. We've got the one-hit wonder My Man Neapolitan Ice Cream, which is it's Neapolitan ice cream. That's a blueberry crumble. And then finally, another deep cuts. This one is Raspberry Psycho Cruller, which is a raspberry donut. And all of these, or at least these two, I know are good. I know they're good. My Man, I haven't had in probably 5 years. So who knows if it's any good. But there you go. And Wraith, welcome. Good man, still trying to clean this apartment, but good. Good to hear. Good to hear, Rufus. One Wraith here standing by. Welcome, Wraith. Good to see you, sir. Homeboy chilling on the cover with a shiner. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, this is Vinyl and Vapor. Um, I mean, you can do a Google search, I guess, if you want. But yeah, it's his website and his liquids. It's good stuff. That Neapolitan is so damn good. Okay. Okay. See, I haven't had it in many, many years. And I guess, I don't remember when it was. I guess it was like 2017. I'm not sure when, but basically all over the, um, I guess, vaping world, there was this big thing about diacetyl, which is what gives creamy sort of vapes. It gives it this buttery flavor. And diacetyl, by the way, is also something, it's a chemical that they put in like movie theater butter flavors. And there's this thing called popcorn lung, where people who worked in these popcorn factories over time, they got a huge concentration of diacetyl in their lungs, and they got this thing called popcorn lung. Anyway, everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, we're going to give ourselves popcorn lung," not realizing that the amount that was put in e-liquid was so small and so minuscule compared to the people that got popcorn lung that it's really a non-issue. And also, by the way, diacetyl is also in cigarettes, and a higher amount. And however long cigarettes have been around, guess what? Not one cigarette smoker has gotten popcorn lung. So there you go. Magnus, welcome. Welcome. You know that salt nick, yeah? Yes, but it is at 3 milligram, so it's still, it's not a big deal. Yeah, 3 milligram. So even though it's like a different type of nicotine, it's not a problem. But in theory, I think what happens is with salt nick, the way that it's done, it absorbs better or easier or something. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. But yeah, it should be no different than regular nicotine. Popcorn lung sounds delicious. I mean, apparently it was like really bad. It was like really bad. But again, these people were working in factories for, a period of years and developed this condition because of the diacetyl. So, yeah, weird. And Bucho is here. Welcome. Welcome. You drip salt, I don't care. Well, there you go. It's in the Sigamo butts. Yeah, exactly. I was playing Breath of the Wild and saw a shrine on top of a snow-topped mountain. To get up the mountains without freezing to death, I ate hot chili, set a stick on fire, and lifted a metal bridge. Magnus, that's... Oh, lifted... You weren't finished. Lifted a metal bridge across a river. Goblins at the top knocked snowballs down on me. I can't believe my harebrained scheme worked. It's one of the best games of all time. It's one of the best things about Breath of the Wild, is that there are so many different ways to do things. Like some might be, like if you were streaming that, there are probably people going, yeah, that's wrong. You shouldn't do that. That's the wrong way to do it. But as long as you get to the end result, who gives a crap? Who gives a hell what you do? As long as it works. And that's what I love about that game. There's so many different ways to tackle an issue or a problem or whatever. It's cool. It's cool. Sam Rockwell and Brandon Lee had a baby and Bucho was born. You mean this guy? Get out of here. Get out of here. Harebrained schemes are in my top 3 types of schemes. Yes. And I like how, there was something about this new thing in the UK where they want to be known as smoke-free in the UK. So they're giving away like thousands and thousands of e-cigarette kits to people who smoke to try to get people vaping, right? And they called it the new scheme behind blah, blah, blah. And it's like scheme has a bad connotation here in the US. Like if someone's scheming, it sounds like they're all, but it's really just means plan, which I think is funny. But it is interesting, I mean, I guess when your government is paying for healthcare, they are actually invested in people using the healthier product. But anyway. Some say vaping causes lung damage and cancer. They are liars. One model said she lost her left lung after only 1 year of vaping. That is absolute crap. That is not true. None of that's true. None of that's true, Magnus. If you could give me a something where I could actually read what happened, but it's one of those things where not one person has actually died of vaping, and all of these, oh my gosh, I'm in the hospital because turns out they're doing THC crap, or they're doing the oils, where it anyway, it doesn't matter. That's not true. If you look at anything from the Royal College of Physicians, they look into all that stuff, and they have basically debunked a lot of the fake news coming out of the US. So there you go. Okay, wait a minute. That is the answer to who are my daddies and what do they do? Brandon Lee. Oh, Sam Rockwell and Jason Lee had a baby, not Brandon Lee. Got it. Vape hasn't been out long enough to know. Look, this isn't a pro vape channel, okay? I mean it is, but it's not. That's not the point of the channel. The point is to, have fun and hang out and chat and talk about movies and games and books and whatever, It's look, it's a thing. How do we know? Well, we don't know, but that's why the Royal College of Physicians in the UK, which is you're only here for vaping propaganda. Well, I'll give you actual stuff, that you can go look at. If you go look at Royal College of Physicians and you look at what they have to say on vaping, which is a consortium of doctors from many, many different countries, that basically said, it's the risk of vaping versus cigarettes isn't to exceed 95%. So it's 95% safer than smoking. Sure, there's a risk at everything. There's a risk of you going outside to get your mail. A condor might swoop down and nibble on your neck. That could happen. But it's a pretty low chance. You have a greater chance of going outside and just getting some sort of lung damage from the smog in the air. There's just all kinds of things, right? Somebody, there was a thing not too long ago. It was a contest for the Wii, the Nintendo Wii. And what it was I think it was like a hold your Wii and win a Wii or something like that. But it was basically a contest that a radio station did with a bunch of people. They gave them a bunch of water, and whoever held their pee the longest won the Nintendo Wii. Well, a girl died from drinking water. So it's one of those things where you just that's actually true, which is kind of messed up. But basically my point is, nothing in this world is without risk. But if I had the two different products here, and one is 95% safer than the other, yeah, I don't know if it was drink your Wii for a Wii, but it's just one of those things. How do we know if it's love? That's true. I like that song. It's a good one. Oh man, someone walked in when you said that, and it sounded like you said, "We will talk about boobies and games." Well, I mean, look, it's the internet, you know. That's not. I mean, that's not really what this show's about. But hey, I bought my mom a copy of 1984, but she stopped reading it because there was too much sex in it. It's one of my favorite novels of all time. Is there sex in that? It's been a long time since I've read it. I like Orwellian stuff. I like 1984. I like that. Animal Farm. Yeah. I'd say that about 1982 because I was born. We're unhinged today. Hey, look, it's all good. It's all good. I'm just glad that, look, honestly, I'm kind of glad I'm back. It's cuz it's a thing. It's a whole thing. There's I love going to conventions. I love being at conventions. I don't love driving to conventions. You know what I mean? 4 hours, 4.5 hours, or whatever to get to a convention. It's kind of like, if we could skip the whole travel part, that would be great. That would be great because that I'm not crazy about. But you know what? Let's get into it. Let's get into it again. Retropalooza Houston was this weekend, and it was a very successful convention for Jay. Jay said it went very, very well, and a lot of vendors that I know, man, they did really well too. The first thing we did, I'll tell you, I went to Billy's around 2:00. We got on the road, and I read the script to him for the script that I wrote. After he was done, or after I was done, he said, and we were coming up with ideas, things to add or things to change or whatever along the way. But when it was done, he said, "Wow, that's really good. That's a really tight script. It's really good." Like he said, it's like 75% there. So for a first script, that's insane. He said that's good enough that I think somebody would buy that. Like you could sell that script, which was like that. That made me feel pretty good because I was worried that the story wouldn't work. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't. I don't know. Like maybe I wasn't as good of a writer or a storyteller that I thought than I thought, but he liked it a lot. So that was really, really cool. We've already come up with some I wouldn't say major changes, but like a new way to start. What is it? It's almost like the call to action at the beginning of a story. The thing that gets the characters moving in this new direction that's going to change things. Makes sense, right? Like what gets them going. So yeah, Billy really liked it, and then Jay hasn't read it yet, but he knows the main through points. You know what I mean? He said I kind of wish that you and I were going somewhere so you could read it to me. I mean, hey, what can I say? They don't read, I guess, or they don't have time. But anyway, we were talking about things, and I told Jay of an idea that Billy had, and Jay was like, "No, nah, I don't like that." Yeah, I was reading it to Billy, not Jay. But yeah, it was any non-purchase regrets from this weekend. Daniel, yes. But I'll get there. I'll get there. And it's a small thing. It's going to be one of those things when you think that was at a retro convention, a retro gaming convention, or toys convention. Yeah, it wasn't a toy and it wasn't a game. So, and it wasn't a movie. So, but yeah. Yes, it was a book. It was a book, but no juice. But anyway, so I'm very excited. I'm very excited that they enjoyed it, or that Billy enjoyed it, and then I'm sure Jay will. Because here's the thing: when Jay and I were coming up with the story, there were, kind of like bullet points. Okay, we want this to happen. We want this to happen. all the way to the end, and then this happens, and then blah blah blah, right? So it was my job to try to craft a story around, connect the dots and how to, have characters with arcs, and growth and conflict and all these things all the way through. And and like I said, Billy was very impressed with how many character arcs there are. Like, there are things that the characters go through that it's like a story is like that. Things get good, and then they get bad, and they get good, and they get bad. And he said you had a really good way of doing that. It's hard to talk about it without talking about specifics, but I'm excited. I'm excited because now it's time to get into that second draft and try to take some of those ideas, recraft it, and recraft some of the story beats. It's not going to be difficult, honestly. The way that the story is, we're adding something at the beginning, and then we're changing the ending to make it not so subverting expectations, because people love that, right? I mean, if I've learned anything over the last 10 years, it's that people love to have their expectations subverted. And they love it when writers and directors talk about that. So we're not going to do that. But it's going to be, I'm fine with it. It's not like one of those things where I was really desperate to have that ending. But it's going to be interesting to see how it all turns out. And I'm sure there's going to be some more changes. There's going to be some more ideas that, maybe 2 months down the road we go, oh man, what if we do this? And it might change things significantly. But right now, the changes that I'm going to have to make are going to be very small. There's going to be some combining of characters. So yeah, we'll see. And it's no, Daniel, it's not a Kevin Costner baseball Western. No. But there is, I will say that in the movie, there is a character that is well beloved, that's had a history of people looking at as a hero, that he turns his back on everything that you know about this character and basically goes into exile. And then, I'm kidding. None of that happens. None of that happens. I was just saying Luke, because some people don't like the Luke thing. But anyway. Schemes are for shiesty rascals. Shiesty, that's a word right there. That's a hell of a word. And I'm sorry, I'm behind because I got to talking. Let's see. What favorite novels of all time? Yep. Drink your wee. Yes. Tuesday. The flight from here to DFW is like 45 minutes. Toit like a toiga. Yeah, exactly. I will be flying out to SoCal. I guess, is that 2 weeks? No. When is that? 25th. Today's the 25th, right? Wow, that's next Thursday. Next Thursday. So, yes, I will be doing that. And then yeah, I will probably not be back until Tuesday night, which means there will not be a stream on the 9th. But I will be there in SoCal. If anyone is planning on being there, I will in fact be there. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. What city is better, Austin or Houston? I like Austin better myself. Austin's more my style. It's more, now I will say that I haven't been there a whole lot since sort of this change. It's almost become very, it's very trendy for like the Californians to move into Austin. And there's a lot of new businesses in Austin. So it's kind of changing a little bit. But just from the two, in my knowledge of them, Austin's a better city. But Houston's fine. I just, man, and Houston was great this weekend because it was nice and cool. No humidity. It was very nice. Very nice. Let's see. Yeah, okay, I'll just tell you. The non-purchase regret. So, Chief, if you follow Chief on Facebook, Chief has been getting into things that are not just toys and video games. He found a bunch of first edition Stephen King books. And one of the books that he had was Eyes of the Dragon. Now, if you remember, I read Eyes of the Dragon like 2 months ago. Something like that. And loved it. Loved that book. That book is awesome. It's totally different than a typical Stephen King story because it was like a medieval story, and it was set in medieval times, and it was, it was good. It was a really, really good story. I mean, I really, really liked it. But then what happened was I went and saw it and I'm like, oh, I know what I'm buying. And then I went back to the, of course we were busy at the Game Chasers table doing stuff. I was helping Billy with because basically what he had the 2-disc Blu-rays there. So if somebody came up and said, hey, I can pick up my Blu-ray, well then I can take them off the list and all that kind of stuff. So we were pretty busy. By the time I got back over there, he had sold it. And he had sold it to Taffeta, one of the cosplayers. And I was a little annoyed. And I almost thought about offering her double what she paid for it so I could have it. But then I just said, nah. So basically I missed out on a first print Eyes of the Dragon by Stephen King. He also had the Tommyknockers. He had the new book, Fairy Tale. He had The Shining and Salem's Lot. And I've read all those books. I haven't read Fairy Tale yet, but I've read those other 3 books, but I just don't have a connection to those like I do Eyes of the Dragon. Like Eyes of the Dragon I really, really enjoyed. So Carbonite, welcome. Sorry, I'm behind as usual. Since the beginning of the show, I've been watching Ron on my Oculus, a personal movie theater experience with... Oh, you've been watching me. Well, hello. Anyway, how's it going? Let's see. Does this character sell pudding pops? Oh, no. No. I know you don't want to spoil anything, but would you say that the number of UFC abductions is UFC abductions? More or less than 3? Less than? Because I don't know if you mean like is Dana White gonna come and abduct someone? Because that doesn't happen in the book. I'll just spoil that for you right now. Dana White is not in my story. But anyway, yeah. Red eyes, black dragon, blue eyes, white dragon. I don't know what that means. Don't know what that means. Because I guess I'm not in tune. By the way, if you're in chat right now, if you're watching and in chat, you can vote on which flavor is going in the RDA tonight, or in the RTA tonight, okay? First up, it is listed as Blueberry Crumble. That is Blueberry Hill. It is a blueberry crumble, and it is fantastic. This one's really good. The next one is a Neapolitan hit ice cream called My Man. Okay? And then the last one is Deep Cuts Raspberry Psycho Cruller, which is a raspberry donut. These two I have tried recently and I love. Like, I've bought multiple bottles of these. This one is one I used to vape a long time ago, but they've since changed their their recipe and everything. So who knows if it's good or not. And right now, we've got 3 votes. I'm going to refresh this just to make sure. I can't refresh it. I only see 3 votes. Is that right? 3 votes, and it's tied. 1 of each. Today I found out they have Nightmare on Elm Street novels that expanded the lore of Freddy Krueger. Sadly, they are rare and pricey as hell. I did not know anything about this. Interesting. Yellow Eyes Gray Dragon. Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about that stuff. And yeah, those damn martial artists are a menace. They will abduct all kinds of folks. But no, that's not in the... I will say that there may be... I'll just say there is some stuff, there's some supernatural stuff that happens in the story. But I won't say what. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the blue one. He's being funny. Oh, yeah, I know. You guys. You guys with your Pokemans and your Yu-Gi-Oh! Things. Blueberry. Yeah. Blueberry. Blue. And you know what they say? If you don't vote today, then you don't get to vote. Funky. If you don't vote today, then you don't get to vote. Funky. That's the Grim Green thing. And yeah. You need to vote. You have to vote. You don't have to vote. I'm not going to pressure you. If you don't want to vote, you don't have to vote. But I would appreciate it if you voted. So I can pick something to go in the RTA. Did I see the Mario movie yet? No, I haven't. I literally have not. Like, I've also figuratively have not. But it's been a busy week. Of course, with the con, that being a 3-day thing, my wife working extra, because my wife wants to see it. And that's the whole reason I haven't seen it, is because she wants to see it. And she hadn't had time. She's been too busy. So. I meant UFO abductions. But if someone was to get bundled into a kidnap van by Valentina Shevchenko, that'd be fine with me. I mean, look, the script isn't done. So you never know. I might bring in a UFC champion or ex-champion to be in the movie and abduct someone for some reason at a video store. I don't know. What movie did you see the most in the theater? That would have to be... It would have to be E.T., I think. Because I think I saw E.T. 6 times in the theater. I saw The Force Awakens like 3 or 4 times. I saw The Last Jedi twice. I saw Rise of Skywalker once. I know I saw Empire multiple times. I also saw Return of the Jedi multiple times. I also saw Ghostbusters multiple times. But I think E.T. takes the... And it was because it was such a cultural phenomenon. It was... Everybody wanted to see it. So I remember I went with, like, my mom and dad. We went multiple times with multiple different family members. So... And it's good. It's a good movie, but, you know... Not my favorite, but I did see many, many movies in the theater multiple times. Force Awakens was the most recent where I saw it more than once. I usually don't see... Oh, wait a minute. Avatar. I think I saw Avatar like 4 or 5 times, the first one. So, yeah. No Count Chocula. I mean, no, but hey. Universal Pocket Monsters would be a fun ROM hack. Wolfman, Dracula, Frankenstein would be the starters. Oh, I see what you mean. Something's not refreshing because I hit that one too. Oh. Let's see. Let me see if I can... You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to close my chat window. And then I'm going to refresh. I hope I didn't lose everybody. Nope, I'm still going. That's weird. I refreshed the entire page and it still shows. Still shows 1 vote each. So I don't know. We may have to end it and start it again. In fact, let's just do that. I'm just going to end it right now. Oh, there it is. So right now, okay, everybody keep track. That's 15 votes. I'd say that's probably pretty good. Neapolitan ice cream won. So I'm gonna go with that because look, that's 15 votes. That's plenty of votes, I think. So we'll do that in just a second. What about Return of the King? No, I only saw each of the Lord of the Rings movies once in the theater. Even though Return of the King is right now playing in the theater, right? It's playing again. So no, I've only seen it once. Biodome 23 times. Wow. You liked Short Circuit better. You know, Short Circuit and E.T. are very close. It's almost like take the beats, the story beats, change them up. But they're very similar. If you think about it, Short Circuit is basically a remake of E.T. If you think about it. I only saw Avatar 2 once. In fact, I still haven't bought it or anything. I'm waiting for the 4K Blu-ray. I think that's the way to go. So I haven't bought it digitally, and honestly, I wouldn't have time to sit down and watch. It's gotten to that point now where if I'm going to sit down and watch a movie, it's going to be for something, for a reason. It's either on my watch list and it's something that I'm planning to watch, or it's something I'm going to review. And Avatar 2, I've seen it. So I'm good for Avatar 2 right now. You know what I mean? And there you go. Magnus said it. Yeah. Short Circuit is a ripoff of E.T. Absolutely. But we're going to do it. We're going to do this, my man. Thank you for voting. And yeah, let's do this. Johnny 5 has stayed in memory more than E.T. I mean, I don't know about that. Crap. I don't know about that. Because I don't remember Johnny 5 having multiple... Like, Michael Jackson never wrote a song with E.T. in it, or about E.T. But hey, I'm just going to say I think E.T. might have had the bigger thing. Let's see. A little movie trivia for you guys. Politan was the surname of the character Keanu Reeves plays in the Matrix movies. Yeah, it's his last name. They never really say it in the movie, but yes. Did a knuckle test. I don't know, man. That tastes oops. Shit. Dripped on my leg. This is going to be interesting because it tastes very chemically. Oh, I guess I should show you what I'm doing. So I'm putting it on that side, then we're going to put it on this side. It doesn't taste great, I got to be honest. But that's not, sometimes, what you taste off the knuckle is going to be different than what you actually vape. It can go the other way too. Like you do the knuckle and you go, oh my God, that's amazing. And then you vape it and it's like, that's awful. So we'll see. We'll see what the thing is here. All right. We got some vapors. Okay. Let's put that tank on. Screw that down. Let's take that top off and do the whole this is one of my favorite parts. You ready? You see that? Bleh. Just goes right in there. And then it'll catch up on the other side. And there we go. Here we go. Whoo! E.T.'s race is canon in the Star Wars universe. That is true. Mac and Me is not a better movie than E.T. Well, I'm gonna call you out on that, Rufus. It ain't. It ain't. When all 5 Avatar movies come out in 6K, it's gonna be very many years before they go anything above 4K, because we don't really have a lot of 4K content. If you really think about it, I mean, you have to pay extra for it. And I just don't think many people care at this point. 1080p is fine for most people. E.T. was never really something I was interested in. Well, I mean, I get that in Ninjago games, and it's also an older thing, so I get that. And yeah, I'm pretty sure Anderson was was his last name, not Politan. You know, Neapolitan. Anyway, 75 watts on a 0.22 ohm resistance coils. Let's give it a shot. That's a lot milder of a taste than I was expecting. Interesting. Oh, should I have done a knee test? Can I even... I can lick my knee. Wow. Hey, I have talents, apparently. Can I do the other one? That was the left leg. I can. The kind of things you see on the internet. Can a man lick his own knee? Yes, he can. There you go. What race was E.T.? That was never really said. It was never really said. Taste the knuckle. That's right, Carbonite. That's right. Have you ever done any edits of any James Cameron movies, Magnus? I'm actually interested in that. No, but Avatar 2 was too long. I mean, it wasn't that bad. It was a little long. But I'm wondering how many subscriptions I just got. Maybe if I made that into a short, you know what I mean? Me licking my own knee, would I get a bunch of subscribers off of that? I mean, it's a pretty good trick. I think it's a pretty good trick. I can't even believe I can do it. Rufus, that's it. E.T. was an extraterrestrial. Exactly. I'm surprised E.T. wasn't reintroduced in Star Wars movies today like a Jedi. Well, you have to understand, that was, E.T. is a Universal movie. I think. I'm pretty sure it's Universal. So they would have to either purchase the rights to that character or license him. Like, I don't even know, did they, I would assume they licensed him for a quick, brief appearance in Star Wars. But yeah, I mean, I would think that would be a nightmare to try to figure out. And yeah, bee's knees, yo. I'm torn on this because it's very weak. It's weird. It also is whistling. Let me turn down the airflow just a tad. You can see. You can see there. Maybe you can kind of okay. There you go. You can see that I've turned down the airflow a little bit, and that'll take out the whistle. It's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. It just needs I don't think it needs steeping. Does it have a This was made January. So and it's pretty clear. You can see it's a pretty clear liquid. So yeah, it's only been steeping for 3 months. It's possible that it could need steeping, but I don't think so. I think it's just a milder flavor. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Maybe it needs more wattage. Let's turn it up to 85 watts. Let's try it. It's not much different. I'm gonna turn my fan up so I don't set off the smoke alarm, because that would be a problem. Yeah, it's just a milder flavor, and that's fine. But it's good. It's good. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. These two, of course, like I said, I've tried recently. I know these are good. So it was good to try something that I hadn't tried in a long time. It's very good. 85 watts. Yeah. What was that? That was. Does it actually show the? No, it doesn't. It doesn't show the voltage. Usually what happens is the higher the voltage on a low resistant coil, the hotter the vape and all that kind of stuff. It was warmer. Excuse me. It was warmer, but it wasn't bad. The problem, maybe at the Catalina wine mixer. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. Sorry, Ninjinzu. The problem with Avatar 2 is that there wasn't enough locations. The island setting got old. I think it's a bad idea to make each movie the focus one specific biome. I mean, maybe. Possibly. Yeah, the fire movie, the ice movie, the jungle movie. Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, I liked it just fine. I don't think I liked the first one better. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Oh, my door is open. Why didn't you tell me my door is open? No one told me that my door was open. But yeah. Wait, what? Catalina wine. What am I missing on the Catalina wine mixer? Am I missing something? So, let's get back to some Retropalooza talk, okay? So, on the way, like we're almost at the place. Oh, a ghost just opened it? Oh, it's a reference from Step Brothers. Ah, okay. I've only seen that movie once. I want to buy that movie because there's a lot of funny stuff in it, and I remember laughing at it quite a bit. But yeah. I hope it wasn't a ghost. Anyway. So yeah, we're almost at the convention center, and we're on the service road. And I remembered that a couple of days ago when I was driving around with Billy, he said, "Man, I'm really excited because they're putting in a Freddy's near me, a Freddy's Steak Burgers near me. Really excited." And I just kind of thought about that. We drove past one, and I'm like, "Huh, Freddy's. What's so good about Freddy's anyway?" And he literally turns around so we could go to Freddy's. And I'm like, okay. So we went to Freddy's and got steak burger. I got a steak burger and fries. And it was good. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. But then, that was Friday night. Saturday night, we do the convention thing. Saturday night, like, hey, where do you guys want to eat? And somebody said Freddy's. So we went back to Freddy's. So it was me, Eric, and Hector Falcro went to Freddy's. We ate Freddy's and it was good. And shortly after, AC and Caleb, Phoenix Resale, also came to Freddy's. And then, because what happened was Jay and Billy and Greg and some other people were just kind of hanging out, and we were hungry. We were like ready to eat. So we went and ate. And then we go back to the hotel for a little while. Eric falls asleep. So me and Hector go to try to see where Jay is. We find Jay, and Jay's like, "Man, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten yet." And he looks at me and he goes, "Have you eaten?" I said, "Yeah, we went to Freddy's." And he goes, "What's Freddy's?" And I said, "It's a burger place." And he goes, "Let's go to Freddy's." And I'm like, "Okay." And then I look over and Falcro says, I wouldn't mind another one of those concretes. And I said, "Well, why don't you drive? Because I don't like driving somebody else's car in a town that I don't know." So Falcro took us over to Freddy's. Again, I didn't eat again. So that's 3 times in like a 24-hour period that I went to Freddy's. Okay? It was crazy. And by the way, nobody knew where Billy was. Turns out Billy took a nap in his car, was hungry, and said, "I'm going to go back to Freddy's." So we went back to Freddy's. So everybody had Freddy's multiple times on this trip. Now, guess what we ate on the way out of Houston? I'll give you one guess. It's really easy. We had Freddy's again. And the lady at the drive-thru actually recognized Billy. So it was kind of funny. I went to Freddy's 4 times and ate it 3 times. So I had 3 different burgers. I had the regular burger, the bacon burger, and then I had the patty melt. I will say the patty melt wasn't the best. It wasn't my favorite. But the bacon and the regular one they were awesome. They were great. And I'll tell you, the little seasoning that goes on the fries and the fry sauce, double bacon. That's what I got. And it was awesome. It was really, really good. So, yeah. And see, here's the thing. Ninjinzu Games, you say onion rings with fry sauce. Guess what? I didn't know they had onion rings. Didn't know. I would have gotten onion rings if I'd known. But I will also say onion rings, the old crones and the old, all this, it would have been interesting in the hotel room later. I'll just say that. So I'm kind of glad I didn't. But those fries, man, those fries are good. They're the really thin fries, that they get all crisped up. Man, that's my favorite kind of fry. To me, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm like, I would rather have Freddy's fries than McDonald's fries. I know. I'm as surprised as you are. But I would rather have Freddy's fries. That's just me. And no, I didn't unintentionally use the force on my door. So anyway, 2 nights at Freddy's, 2 meets in Freddy's, 3 nights in Freddy's. It was multiple Freddy's. And it was, yeah, exactly, Freddypalooza. I kind of went to Chick-fil-A every day. Yeah, Chick-fil-A is good too, but it's no Freddy's. But those burgers were awesome. They were really, really good. And you're going to go get Freddy's when we're done here. Get it. Yeah, get it. You're making me hungry, haven't eaten today. Carbonite, get some grub, man. Get some grub. I'll tell you what, if they had a Culver's, I totally would have had Culver's. But it was good stuff. You want to try this Freddy's? It was really good. Have you ever had Rob Palooza? I mean, yeah. But have you ever had Steak and Shake? Because to me, it's very similar. It's a very similar vibe and a very similar flavor profile as Steak and Shake. But I really like the fries, man. The fries were the best part to me. Do they have Freddy's in Arlington? I don't know. But they do. I have one. I've never been there. But I have one about 10 miles from me. And it's like on the way to the, Great Mile Mills, which is like the big, crazy, holy crap, biggest mall we have in DFW. It's like on the way there. So I could have Freddy's like anytime. And now I'm probably going to, because it was really good. You love Freddy's hot dogs as well. But the pictures are the ones with where it's like they had like a square of bread and they just slice it. So it's not really a bun. It's just like a piece of bread that's like, I hate those. What do they call those? Split top buns? Yeah, screw that. They should be outlawed. No one should have that. No. Hot dog buns or else. Look, I'm putting my foot down. Okay? I don't usually do that, but I think if you like split top buns, there's something wrong with you. If you prefer split top buns over regular buns, you got problems and you need help. Get some help, please. Please get some help. Now, while I'm telling some stories, why don't we look at some little bit of video? From the old Retropalooza. So, yeah, this was I think this was Saturday. Or no, this was Friday night, I think. We were just getting there. Not a whole lot of people there. Of course, it was the setup day. But yeah, that's the venue. And then this was Saturday afternoon. Doesn't look that busy there, but man, I'm telling you what, both Saturday and Sunday were crazy busy. There were so many freaking people there. And I think a lot of it has to do with all of the Pokemon voice actors that were there. It was insane. So many freaking people. But, so as I'm walking up, Billy is trying to twerk against the wall. Yeah. And then Eric had to give it a shot. So there you go. So yeah. Yeah. What's up, Rob? Whataburger was awesome. Gary, you liked it, huh? You liked it? That's good. Dude, Whataburger is good stuff, man. It is good stuff. Speaking of voice actors, how did you like Jimmy Simpson on Bad Batch? Awesome. Awesome. Loved it. Yeah, it's an interesting character, right? I really, really dug it. But I want to talk about some of the people, okay, that I met at Retropalooza. First up, Rachel. Rachel's got a podcast that apparently I'm going to be on pretty soon. And I haven't looked them up yet. I haven't done any of that. But she asked, apparently Billy was on it and she would like for me to be on it. And we really hit it off. She's of course a fan of the Game Chasers, but she said, I think she was the one that said that I was nicer than Billy was, which I don't know what that means, but I am a pretty nice guy. So there's that. But yeah, she was great. She hung out for a while there, and then we talked and all that stuff. It was really fun. Of course, I want to give a shout out to people that I've known that I got to see again. Of course, Greg Honeycutt. Dude, seriously, that guy is so freaking funny. And AC, both of those guys, just both of them together. I mean, together, separate, they're really fun, but together, it's a great. Because Greg is very almost very animated, and just boisterous and loud and fun. And AC is just one of those guys that's just like, yeah. And then he'll slip in these zingers with almost no reaction on his face. Dude, we hung out with them both at Really Rad Weekend in Florida, and we had a great time then. We had a great time this time. So really, really fun. Of course, Nick from Echo Base Network. We had a good time. We chatted outside about I guess the state of Star Wars and stuff like that. We had a good conversation. That was really fun. Of course, we hung out. We went upstairs. Don't arm wrestle Greg. My arm still hurts. Greg is a hell of an arm wrestler for sure. Hell of an arm wrestler. But someone new that I think I'd met once briefly. I I think he was at the Dallas Retropalooza, but we didn't get a chance to chat or anything. Got a chance to talk with Caleb, Phoenix Resale. Dude, what a guy. What a cool guy. Very laid back. Good sense of humor. And he actually gave me some tips on my YouTube channel. And for someone who's, I'm at what? I think I'm almost at 2,700 subscribers. I'm still very, very small when it comes to YouTube. He's got 650,000 subscribers. So to have someone like that look at what I'm doing and sort of say, hey, this is something that you could do. But he's like, man, he was saying stuff that was like, dude, it was boosting my ego. And I said, well, the thing is, YouTube's not exactly my ultra focus. I want to make movies. That's what I really want to do. And he goes, well, you've done that. He goes, that's awesome, man, that you get to do that. And I said, the YouTube is something that we like to do for fun. That I like to do for fun. I'm doing it for fun. And he's like, well, dude, I mean, just keep doing what you're doing. And he goes, I think you're doing a pretty good job. And it was really cool to hear that from somebody who's, a big, very big channel, very different channel, I will say. But I would say go check out Phoenix Resale if you haven't. I watched one of his videos yesterday and was like, wow, this guy, I mean, it's a pretty fun video. It's not exactly my scene, buying games and reselling them to buy more games and all that kind of stuff. Not my thing, but still made it very entertaining. And yeah, so shout out to Phoenix Resale. Very, very cool. Dropping in to say hi and leave a like. Chilling with the wife tonight, Ted. You do the thing, man. You do the thing, and I appreciate it. Thank you for that like. Appreciate that. But yeah, there was some arm wrestling, Wraith. I will say there was some arm wrestling that went down this weekend. But we don't talk about the stuff that happens in the room. We don't talk about that. Don't talk about that. Some crazy stuff that happened in those rooms. But anyway, let's get back to a couple more videos. First, this is just a shot. Oh, let me start that over. So it starts over at Boogie and then quickly moves past the Game Chasers and then to some of the vendors and then some of the Pokemon. There's Phoenix Resale right there in the center. And then we've got some more voice actors and there's Tyler, I almost said my so-called life, my retro life. Awesome guy. Got to talk with him a little bit too. But these, I'm telling you, the Pokemon people there were so many. There were so many people there. What's weird is Saturday was busy, right? It was totally busy on Saturday, but Sunday it was raining. It started raining before it opened. So on the way there, Billy was kind of like, man, today's going to be a long day because it's going to be slow because it's raining. It was not slow. It was busy all day. Now, a lot of those people were coming in to see some of those Pokemon voice actors, but man, it was popping. And it was really, really cool. It was cool to see that because, of course, Jay's my bro, man. And it's when the con's doing well, Jay's doing well. And I like to see that. Now, some people aren't huge fans of Boogie, right? But if you follow Boogie 2988 at all, you might know that he is going to be in an exhibition boxing match against another YouTuber in a couple of weeks in London. Well, Billy and Boogie had a little bit of a thing. I'm not going to show everything here. Okay? But yeah, they had a little bit of little bit of thing. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. It's definitely a thing. I like I said, I don't want to show the whole thing. I don't want Boogie's opponent to get any kind of what do you call it? Any kind of information on his boxing style, from watching that, that's and if Boogie wants to release that video, he's got it, in fact, Mike was there, Angry Grandpa, right? He was there as well, filming. So I'm not sure if he's released any of that, but that's a thing. That's a thing. And all I got to say is, I'll be surprised if that match goes 90 seconds. I'll just say that. And yeah, YouTuber boxing is so hot right now. It's, I don't know when that thing is, but Boogie's on the undercard. And I think Boogie's got like 6 million subscribers or something like that. And there's a lot going on. But it's a huge, they're paying him to go, they're paying him to fight, free trip to London, all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a big thing. So yeah. Now, I will say, for those of you who are interested, if you're Game Chasers fans, you want to know how are the farts. I will say that they were nuts. They were nuts. In fact, in my room, it was me, Eric, and Billy. I'm pretty sure this was Eric. It may have been Billy, but you know how like when you're in that mode, you're about to fall asleep. You know what I'm saying? You're drifting off, One of them farted so loud and so suddenly that it jolted me awake, and it actually like scared me for a second. It was really loud. So there you go. And it literally was, there was a lot of smells in that room. And look, I'll be honest with you too. I'm part of that. I'm a culprit too, You give Crohn's boy, some fat burgers with raw onions and pickles. It's going to happen. It's just going to happen. It's a thing. But yeah. Plaps that coat the inside of the mouth. It wasn't quite that bad, but it was pretty like wow, I can. And I guess the biggest problem too is that because of the way that the room was set up, there were the two beds, right? So Billy had a bed, Eric had a bed, and I was on the fold-out couch. And the reason that I did that is for two reasons. Number one, Eric got the fold-out couch last time, and two, Billy's back is messed up. So I was like, Billy, you definitely get the bed. Eric, you took one for the team last time. I'll take the fold-out. Which turns out the fold-out sucked. It was terrible. My back hurt all day Saturday. So what I did is I folded it back up and just slept on the couch with my feet hanging off. Literally like this. And it was better. That was better. But the problem was the air conditioning was on the far side of the room. So anything that happened between me and the air conditioner just kind of made its way over to me. So that was the issue. I should have turned on the fan above me so that it would just kind of, but no. Or maybe intercept it and kind of deflect it. Kind of like an invisible goalie. But no, it didn't work. So yeah. Cool Wafting starring John Candy. Yeah. It was, the Freddy's farts were probably like actual clouds. Yeah. Did Eric hear any ghosts in the room? Not that he said. If he did hear any ghosts, actually, wait a minute. I take that back. He was, I'm pretty sure it was Eric. He goes, man, you hear that? And Billy was like, yeah, it's probably ghosts. I said, it couldn't be the fact that we're in a hotel room and there are people outside literally going into their own rooms. But anyway, I'm telling you, here's the thing. The trips are fun. They really are fun. Especially this one was actually very fun. I got to read my own script out loud, which was interesting because I was trying to play the parts and trying to give the inflection that I meant as the writer. That was really fun. And then of course the feedback is always good because I'm big on feedback. And he didn't pull any punches. The things that he didn't think worked, he told me they didn't work, which was awesome. But man, if I could just, I seriously, look, love the guys, but I wish I could fly to every single one because that's the roughest part is that drive. Because man, wow. So anyway, I get to fly out to SoCal in what, a little over a week. And then I'll be driving back with Billy. So that's going to be interesting. So Billy was messing with him at the panel. Yeah, I missed the panel because mainly because I didn't want us to miss out on any Blu-ray sales, you know, because Billy was selling some of the single disc there, which is because they're in the hole. I mean, I hope I'm not saying anything out of whatever, but because they're in the hole, he's selling the single disc ones so that he can pay for shipping and stuff like that. So there is a point to it, but I didn't want us to miss out on any of that. Or if somebody was coming to pick up their movie, I didn't want them to miss that. And we didn't want to put everything back, you know, so that we could both go. So there was somebody at the booth the whole time. It was either me or Billy. And I just said, dude, I mean, they're here to see you. You know, they're here to see you, Jay, and Eric. They're not here to see me. So I'll hang back and I had a good time. I had a good time talking with people, you know. That's the best part of the conventions. I mean, of course, you know, shopping and all that kind of stuff is fun. But I mean, like I said, I'm not a game collector. So a lot of that stuff goes over my head. So going to Chief's booth and finding a book that I was really interested in, that was cool. And of course, the thing is, Chief has got the coolest stuff. I'm sorry. Look, I'm sorry to everybody else there, but Chief has got the coolest stuff. And there was one other booth. I don't know who it was, but he had some like a bunch of like the big statues and action figures and all kinds of stuff. That was a cool booth. I couldn't afford anything there because it was all like really expensive. The stuff that I would say, oh yeah, I would like that. Yeah, it was $250. I'm like, I'm not paying $250 for this tall Clone Wars Anakin. As cool as that would be, I don't have the money for that. I don't. So I didn't buy that. Which is part of the reason why I just didn't buy anything at the show. But look, it was super fun, and meeting people, talking with people, it's my favorite part. And of course, you know, the after parties are extremely fun, and they get wild and crazy, and it's fun. It's just really, really fun. But it's the getting there and getting back. That's the worst part. So if I could fly to everyone, I know Jay will probably never. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm sure Jay would probably fly me out if I asked, but in this case, there's a reason why I'm flying out and Billy isn't. The reason is Billy has been really trying to get into writing mode so he can write the next movie, the spin-off movie. The problem is, with everything going on, he hasn't been able to do that. So what he's going to do is he's going to go out a couple of days early, I think, and he is going to basically sit in this area, wherever he's going. It's apparently a very nice place that he's been to. I'm assuming with Regina or something. But he's going to go there and he's going to write. And he's going to break that story and then go to SoCal, and then on the way back, we're going to talk through it. So hopefully we can get his script going. And then of course I'm going to be working on my script in the next, over the next couple of weeks, month, whatever. however long it takes to get it done. So there's a lot going on, a lot of very creative stuff happening, which is really fun. And yeah, that's the thing. And Gary, it was cool to meet you as well. It was really just a fun time, wasn't it? And it's such a weird thing, you know? It's like, I know that people aren't there specifically for me. Not that it would matter anyway, but I have such a good time talking with people and meeting people. I had many compliments on my hair, by the way. It was Jay's first time seeing it. And he was like, yeah, I really like it. I really like it. And he goes, you look younger. And I'm like, really? A lot of people have been saying that. I'm like, look at all this gray. I mean, it's more to me, it's more visible now than it was when it was long. But people said, yeah, it's good. And then, what was her name? Dearest Abby, another cosplayer. She looked at me for a second. She goes, wasn't your hair long? And I said, yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. And she goes, it looks good. Looks really good. I'm like, are you hitting on me? Because I'm married. I mean, you can't tell because I don't wear a wedding ring, but hey, back off. No, wasn't anything like that. Very, very cool. But it was nice to hear, you know, it was nice to hear it was nice to hear it. Hair on point tonight. Really? Thanks. I took a shower and everything. And I'll tell you what, man, that right there, I know this is a small thing that most people would be like, no, who cares? Who cares? But I'll tell you what, you cut that hair off, it cuts your shower down like in half, at least. Because you don't have to sit there and get your... Dude, it was so annoying. And then on top of that, the drying. And then oh man, it's so nice, dude. It's so nice. It's so good. It's so good. I actually want it shorter, but everybody has said, no, it looks good. And I'm like, really? Because I think I look like a douche, like an old douche. If I was wearing a suit, people would go, that dude's a douche. You know what I mean? Douche flute right there. I don't know why I keep saying douche. Douche. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it. But everybody else is like, yeah, no, it's good. I'm like, okay. On the trip back with Billy, I would audio record your guys' thoughts chat. Cosma, that is definitely an idea. I don't know if it would work because there are so... Are you saying for our own benefit so we could listen to it back and you know, oh, that was a really good idea, but I forgot to write it down or something like that? Is that what you're saying? Because I'm pretty damn sure that both of us would be saying things that probably wouldn't be good for the public to hear. I mean, you remember the Switched On show, don't you? Yeah. Because we got crazy. And they get just as crazy, if not crazier. So, our benefit. Okay. Then, yeah. That's 80% of why I've been a buzzcut mofo for the last 2 decades. 2 seconds. 2 seconds hair drying time is my kind of drying time. Dude, it's the best. It's the best. But the thing is, I need to lose some more weight. Because I'm at about 185 now. If I could get down to 175, 170, then yeah, go even shorter. Because my face is kind of round. And especially when I smile. See how round my face is? I shouldn't smile like that, huh? Makes me look creepy. Oh my God, it looks terrible. That is a terrible smile. I apologize. But yeah, you know, thinner. If I was thinner, then it would look better, I think. Because when I was starting to gain my weight back, the shaved head looked weird. My head looked small compared to the rest of my body. So, I don't even know why we're talking about that. But yes, go listen to Fan of the Ice Cream Man, dude. Go listen to it. Go listen to it. I'm a fan of The Ice Cream Man by Martin Batterby on the Adventures in Game Chasing original motion picture score. Available now on most audio platforms. Of course, you can do this and go and go. There we go. You can go to his website and it gives you links to all the stuff. And Martin's just such a great guy. Such a great guy. You dozed off and that music woke me up. Sorry, Rufus. I apologize. And yes, Falcrow, yes. This past weekend was a bash. And it was fun. By the way, let's show some photos. So this was day one. It was very rare for Jay to be anywhere near me, near the booth or anything, but he was there for a second. So I took a photo with all the guys. And of course, Eric's talking to Boogie, Billy's talking to somebody else, and Jay's in the middle. But yeah. And then, yeah, there you go. There is Falcrow. And we basically started a thing where we're going to every time we take a picture together, we're going to act like we're very angry at each other. But then, yeah, there's Eric with Bowser. And finally, there's a shot of the boys. This was on Sunday, and Billy is taking a little bit of a nap. But yeah, it was cool, man. It was a cool time. And Rufus, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry because you missed stuff. It's no big deal. But Falcrow Falcrow, like I said, was the Freddy's hookup Saturday night, man. He was that Freddy's hookup, and yeah, it took me and Eric, and then he took me and Jay. So, Falcrow, here's to you. And even played some guitar for us up in the rooms and all that stuff, man. It was fun. It's just a fun time, and like I said, it always is. If you can make it out to one of these, it's so much fun, and it's cool to meet people. It's just a good time. It's just a good time, you know? So, there you go. So, there we go. Took me about an hour, a little over an hour, to talk about Retropalooza. That's good. That's the way it should have been. Let's take a vape of this My Man again. By the way, thank you guys for voting on the My Man. Subtle. Just a like, it isn't like this one. This one here has got Pistachio Delight in here. And this one is like, holy crap. Pistachio Delight. This one is like, hey, how you doing? A little bit of chocolate, vanilla, strawberry for you. There you go. That's what this tastes like. It's very mild. I like it though. It's good. This is definitely, I've gotten to the point now where the ones that just kind of smack you in the face, just don't need it, you know? Been vaping My Girl's Grape Mint. Oh, My Girl's Grape Mint. And it has me thinking about getting some. Yeah, I mean, and dude, man, some of those mint flavors are like, holy crappity poop nipple, you know? I don't even know if that's a thing. But yeah, wow. Now, I want to bring this one up real quick. Before we get into the CinemaCon stuff, I have two things to talk about. I'm sure there's probably more things. If you guys, and look, feel free. This is our show, right? So if there's anything that you're like, hey, what do you think of this? You know, like I think Magnus earlier brought up the Alec Baldwin, the Russ thing. Yeah. Apparently, the charges have been dropped and Russ is back filming, which is like, okay. But it's, to me, that's a, like, what do you think of that? I'm like, oh, well, okay then. So But I mean, if there's something that you got, you want to talk about, let's talk about it. That's the way this works. It's you and me, you know what I mean? So yeah. But I wanted to bring this up because this is an interesting one. So, ever heard of Markiplier? Markiplier is he's big. He's a big time YouTuber. I don't know what he's at now. Let's see. Let's see what Markiplier is at now on the sub count. Markiplier, 34.7 million subscribers. 34.7 million subscribers. Okay? Big dude. Big deal. Okay? But this came out. Iron Lung. He's going to direct and star in an adaptation and finance this movie. And an adaptation of the David Szymanski, I don't know how you say that. David Szymanski horror video game. Interesting, right? Like I saw that and I was like, oh, okay. But then I found out something even, at least interesting to me because it hit close to home. But this is, okay, just give me a second. Just give me a second here. So again, think about it. Markiplier, directing, starring, and financing this movie. Let me see if I've got this. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second here. Hold on now. Give me a second. I'm going back in my history here. Do I have a picture? Do I have a picture? I mean, I have many pictures, but do I have the picture I'm looking for? Okay, I may not have the picture I'm looking for. Dang it. Oh, that's Chris. No. Wait. There it is. There it is. Okay. Let me close this. Hold on. Just hold on a second. Wow, that's big. Okay. Let me make this smaller. Let me make that smaller. Okay. Little smaller. Okay. Okay, maybe a little bit smaller. And then we'll do this. Wow. Okay, that's fine. So in the center right there is our line producer, Larissa Garcia, Bob. She is working on this movie. She posted it on Facebook. She goes, I've been working on this for 6 weeks. So congratulations to Larissa for working on this movie. This is awesome. I mean, that it's really cool to have that connection, even if, like I said, even if it's nothing but that. Hey, she worked on our movie. It's really cool. So there you go. So somebody that worked on our movie is working on this movie. Now, of course, I mean, you might say, yeah, but you've got Yoshi, who's worked on Star Wars. He's working on Invincible seasons 2 and 3. You've got Leon, who's worked on Captain America and Justice League and Dark Shadows and all these really, really A-list movies, right? I mean, yeah, of course. But it's cool to have somebody else that we worked with getting some success and working on some cool stuff. I think that's awesome. Game of Thrones, of course. Yes, Game of Thrones. So yeah, very, very, very cool. Very cool. What movie are you making next? We'll see. Because again, I finished my first draft and we're still trying to figure out what's going to, I've got to do the second draft based on some of the feedback that I've already gotten. Make it better, all that stuff. There are too many characters. Okay? So think about this. Think about a video store. Think about a mom and pop type video store. How many employees does that place have? Okay? Now, the problem is I was thinking of it like Blockbuster. And with Blockbuster, there was a morning shift, there was a night shift, and there was a swing shift. So you had, in my store, we had 15 employees. I think I have 9 employees. I think I have like 8 or 9 employees. It's still too much. It's too much. So I'm going to have to combine characters so that we can tell this story properly. It's just too much to keep track of, and it's too messy. So I'm going to have to combine some characters. There's a lot that needs to happen on my script. But I got a good start. So that's a good thing. Billy is on the way, when he's on the way to SoCal, he's going to be staying in that hotel, and he's going to be working on the sequel / side story to Adventures in Game Chasing. So there's that. So who knows? It depends on which one gets financed first. We might sit and go, okay, here's the two. It might be like when we get the 2 scripts are ready to go. And then we send them off to maybe, say, Rudy, our first AD who helped us get this movie made. And we go, okay, which one do you think is the better option? Because one, I'll say this, my movie, my script is going to be much less taxing and much easier to shoot. But the other idea is a bigger idea, and it could be a lot more fun. There's a lot of things going for that idea as well. So it's really just dependent upon what, we might do it like, see if we can get finance for Billy's story. If we can get that, we make that movie. And then during post-production on that, we get financing going on my script. I don't know. It's really hard to say. Not Gary, what's going on? How's it going? It's good to see you, man. We're breaking down all the things. What's going on. Retropalooza was a great time. Man, good stuff. So yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what is going to be next, because it really just depends on if we can get the financing, because I think having somebody like Rudy, or even, if we can get Larissa on it, because Larissa was our line producer, which the line producer basically says, okay, not only are we figuring out, okay, how much money can we spend on the movie, but how much money are we spending on this scene? How much money are we spending on this day? That kind of thing. Line producer is like line by line, what are we spending? So she was integral to getting Adventures of Game Chasing shot. There's no question. And we've all basically agreed that anybody that we can get back for that movie, we want back, because they did a fantastic job. It's really just a matter of, do we have the budget? Can we pay them? Because they all got paid, but we didn't. We want to try to, at least get paid for the time. But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Don't know. Bucho, topic suggestion. At the start of 2023, what % chance would you have said it'd be super goofball Jimmy Simpson to be a more compelling Star Wars villain than legendary Giancarlo Esposito? % chance. I would say 12%. 12%. If you don't know what Bucho was talking about, he's talking about season 2 of The Bad Batch, which, for my money, was a more satisfying season of Star Wars content than Mandalorian season 3 was. But Jimmy Simpson, if you don't know who he is, he's the guy that in the old days, Dave Letterman, he would come on and do these skits with David Letterman. Really kind of he's kind of a goofball. But then he started doing some dramatic roles. He's been really good. He was in Westworld. He's done some interesting work over his career, but he's the voice of a new character in Bad Batch, and he is really, really good. So I would highly recommend if you put off watching the Bad Batch, if you put off watching the Clone Wars, dude, watch the Clone Wars and then watch Bad Batch. It's good stuff. It's good Star Wars content. It really is. So yeah. Oh dang, I didn't know he'd done dramatic roles. I only know him from Letterman and Always Sunny. He also played, which is one of the first times where I was like, oh, he can do dramatic stuff. In Zodiac, the very beginning of the movie, there's a character that is severely injured, and he's one of the survivors of this attack of the Zodiac killer. He shows up at the end of the movie as that character. Basically I wouldn't say gone in hiding. He's just gone and lived his life and moved away from California. So it was interesting to see him in this. It's a very small role, but it's a role that made me go, oh wow, okay. He can do this. And in Westworld, he's awesome. He's awesome. So there you go. I just finished up Mando season 3. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't that great. I'm not all that excited for anything new, which really stinks. Yeah, and I think for me, overall, I think Mandalorian season 3 was really unfocused. And it almost felt like they were looking around and kind of going, I think people liked Mandalorian better when it was just a Mandalorian and Grogu going on adventures. So how can we wrap everything up in this season so that they can go do that in the next season? That's what it feels like to me. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do next. Jon Favreau said he's already written season 4. So there's going to be a season 4. And then it'll be interesting if all of the Mandalorian stuff is going to be tied into, Ahsoka and Skeleton Crew, and probably not the Acolyte because that takes place prior, but it seems like they're building towards something, and of course they are, because Dave Filoni will be directing a movie, a theatrically released movie that will tie up all of those storylines. So there's some hope. There's some hope there, but don't know, Not surprised he's good at drama, though. A lot of comedians are really talented at drama. Well, in my opinion, comedy is hard. Comedy is very, very difficult. And I think if you can get down comedic beats, you can also get down dramatic beats. Think of any comedian that's done any sort of acting. They really do well at dramatic roles. Jim Carrey, Robin Williams, Ray Romano. There's quite a few. There's quite a few that have done both, and it's very cool to see them, branch out and do that. So, Eric, what's up? Everybody, it's Eric. And Eric, I was just showing the picture. Where is it? Is it here? There we go. It's you with Bowser. But yeah, I was showing off some of the pictures from Retropalooza. I think there's something we don't know. I've heard rumors and speculation that Favreau and Kathleen butt heads too much and that he was barely on set. Who knows? Well, see, that's the thing. I mean, there's so much of that. There's so much hearsay, and the biggest issue is that there are a lot of news YouTubers that they're reporting on things that are rumor. And I don't like to report on that. I don't like to even discuss it because we don't know. But I can say that there are people that Yeah, there are definitely issues. I think we can see just from the way the content comes out sometimes, the way things turn out. There are some definitely some creative things going on. Now, I don't want to blame anyone, but at the same time, I mean, a lot of it you kind of have to look at Kathleen Kennedy because she's the head of Lucasfilm, right? But also, Papa Iger is back. And I think a lot of the issues that we've seen in the past with Star Wars, a lot of it is Bob Iger's fault. He even took blame for just completely mismanaging the Solo movie, the release of Solo. That it was a mistake to release it that close to The Last Jedi, that he should have waited and released it at Christmas time. There was a lot of things that could have happened. They could have marketed it better. There's so many things that we don't know, though. And all I can say is I hope that in this situation, just like any of these studio situations, that the creatives are allowed to be creative, and the people that are fronting that money can trust the people that are creative to do the best thing possible. And I think that doesn't always happen. And I think at Disney, Disney/Lucasfilm, that's been an issue over the last few years since they bought it. And again, I don't want to say that Disney's completely at fault, because they brought us a lot of great stuff. It's really strange that Andor was allowed to do everything that it did, because it did some seriously, like, wow stuff. Like, holy crap, that was dark. Can't believe you went there. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I even heard there's issues with Pedro wanting out. Well, you can see that the character of Din Djarin never took off his helmet this season. And look, I don't know about you, but if I was paid that kind of money to just go into a voice booth, a vocal booth, and record my lines and not have to be on set, come on, dude. I think any of us would take that job. You say, oh, it's because Din Djarin was blah, blah, blah. And he's the creed of the... There's no way. In my opinion, there's no way that you would have a show like that with a star like Pedro Pascal and not have him show his face, unless there was a thing going on. Either maybe what you say, maybe he's not enjoying the time, or he's just so damn busy. He's been in all kinds of things. Not to mention, Last of Us. So, heads are being butted. I mean, I agree. And the thing is, it's a shame, because, we as the viewers, we kind of have to, take the brunt of whatever happens, and it's like, but it's always been fascinating to me that whole thing about, the way that Hollywood works is that they're financing a creative endeavor, and yet they try to keep getting in the way of the creative process. And in a big way, that's what producers are supposed to do, is be that buffer. Yes, I use the word buffer here. Between the money and the creatives. So the creatives come to the producer and they say, we really need this money to make this scene happen. And the producer goes, okay, exactly what do you need? Okay, this is what I need. Okay, I'll go to them and I'll see if I can get them to do it. Okay, they really need this money to make this thing happen. But that's a lot of money, and you know what I'm saying? They're that buffer. And to me, Kathleen Kennedy, her role has not been more of a studio head like Kevin Feige, a creative that's in the position to kind of, make sure all the pieces connect and all that. She is more of like the Uber producer. But then we've heard that Kathleen Kennedy has kind of gotten into that creative process a little bit and muddied the waters. So I don't know. I don't know who to believe. All I can say is I'm hoping that cooler heads prevail and the creatives are allowed to do what they need to do. Because, I mean, I feel like Andor is one of the situations where it's like Kathleen Kennedy was really just hey, they need the money for this. Are you going to shoot on the volume? No, we're shooting on location. Shut up and give us the money. Because this is really, really good, and you gotta trust me on this. Tony Gilroy's over here going, hey, where's the money? And Kathleen's like, hey, I'm working on it. Dude, you guys, seriously, give us the money for this. You know what I mean? That's kind of the way that I've always looked at Kathleen Kennedy, because if you look at her track record, it's like she's produced some of the biggest movies in history. She's good at what she does. But then there's been that talk about her getting in the middle of the creative process, and that's not a good thing. So who knows, man? But I know I don't. So it's kind of hard for me to I've always found it hard to talk about that kind of stuff because I don't know for sure. And everything we've heard so far has really just been hearsay. And most people, if they, like their job, they're not going to talk about that stuff publicly. So it's a really weird thing. And who knows? Who knows who's, which website has it right? Which YouTuber has it right? I just don't know. And it's kind of like, it's the same reason why I don't like talking about stuff that's, hey, this is coming. This movie's coming. Really? When? I don't know. And then, oh yeah, movie's canceled. Why? Creative differences. So it's not happening now. So why do we waste time talking about it? I don't know. Now it's, you know what I mean? Anyway. The Grinch 2? Is that even, really? Hasn't Bob Iger said in the past he's super hands-on with Mando? Yeah, he was. He was, and that's it. Like I said, I mean, I've told you guys my theory that Bob Iger was, like, if you look at the problems that Star Wars properties have had, a lot of it comes down to Bob Iger getting in the middle of things. I mean, you can start with the sequels. Oh man, the sequels were trash, right? Well, part of the reason is because he put them on a very, very quick turnaround. Didn't allow them to sit down and go, okay, here's the overarching plot. And a lot of people blame Kathleen Kennedy for this. But man, they were under deadlines. They were under deadlines by Bob Iger. And it wasn't about, and we've talked about this too, studios they don't care if people like it. They don't care if it becomes something that is, culturally resonant. They don't care about any of that because they don't understand it. What they do understand is we put this much money in and we got this much money back. That's what they care about. So the fact that those Star Wars movies were profitable and essentially paid for them purchasing Lucasfilm, that's what they cared about. They cared about putting as many people in those seats as possible. That was it. It's not about being this thing that adds to the lore and all that stuff. Now, of course, you've got people working there, working on these movies that are attempting to do that. But then you've got those financial people going, yeah, but we want this much profit. We don't want to give you any more money for that. I mean, how many times have we seen this? It happens all the time. Just so happens that, in my opinion, the Star Wars movies have gotten it's just been a problem. Anyway. But yeah, he was super hands-on. I'm telling you, I think you can look at Bob Iger Star Wars YouTube. It's a Star Wars show where I can't remember exactly when it was released, but it was weird how much this guy, who's the head of Disney at the time, he was head of Disney. Then he left. Bob Chapek came in, and now he's back because Bob Chapek was apparently doing a terrible job. Bob Iger was talking about things like it struck me weird that this corporate guy knows so much about it that he said, with The Mandalorian, he said, I gave them notes for The Mandalorian, changes to make. And then I watched it again to make sure that those changes were done. Because a lot was riding on The Mandalorian because Disney Plus was launching. So it's just interesting that he was that hands-on with that, but he's never been that way with Marvel. At least that we've heard. So I don't know. Andor did some dark stuff, but still not as dark as the Clone Wars, having episodes with kids getting hunted and killed for sport and Jedis getting tortured to death on screen. True, but a lot of that was pre-Disney. You know? A lot of that was pre-Disney. So you can't really look at that and say that. But I think the animation has always kind of allowed them to do a little bit. They get away with things, you know? Still blows me away how hardcore that kid's show got sometimes. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, Bucho. Food. Speaking of buffers, wait a minute. You know who has a good one? The UFC. That's true. Full circle. Hashtag Bruce Buffer. If Guardians 3 and the Marvels don't meet expectations financially, I think there's going to be immediate changes with the MCU. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Maybe even more reduction of projects. I absolutely agree with you, Eric. Absolutely. It really is an interesting thing. But I kind of feel like Guardians 3 is going to... The first reactions have come out, and they've been amazing. And people said that James Gunn knocked it out of the park. It's the perfect end, saying it's the best Marvel movie since Endgame. So I expect Guardians 3 to do well. The Marvels is going to be really interesting because of all the hate that is going on with Brie Larson. That Brie Larson just attracts hate. And I don't know if you saw it, but I loved WandaVision. I thought WandaVision was amazing. And I thought, I can't remember her name, but her character that was introduced in there was great. Ms. Marvel was so full of heart. And it was really interesting to see a different view of the MCU, of that world. You know what I mean? I loved Ms. Marvel. So I'm really excited about the Marvels. I want to see it. And yeah, I don't care if Brie Larson doesn't, said that it's not for me. I don't care. I want to go see that one. And I'm always about giving a movie a chance. So I'm hopeful for both of those. Take Kathleen out, put Feige and Filoni in charge. Oh, Favreau and Filoni, you mean. Here's the problem with that, is that I don't think Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are both creatives. It doesn't mean that they're good at dealing with the kind of stuff that the head of a studio can do. Now, Kevin Feige happens to be good at that. He's good at that. I don't see why they don't do something similar to what... Sorry, I was looking over because it looked like there was like a bug on the wall. It's like a... Never mind. Something similar to what the DCU has done. So you have, with the DCU, you have James Gunn and you have Peter Safran. Peter Safran is a producer. James Gunn is a creative. So you've got both of those guys together being co-heads of the DCU. Makes perfect sense because that's what you need. You need somebody who's super creative that can figure out how to get all these things to work together. And then you've got a producer over here who's good at working with the studio, or working with the parent studio in this case, which is Warner Brothers Discovery. So it makes a lot of sense to do it that way, to have that super creative guy do that. And then you also have this good business guy that knows what he's doing. Something similar could be done with Lucasfilm. When Kathleen Kennedy finally does leave, whenever that is, if that's after Indy 5, we'll see. But yeah, you have a super creative person and then you have a super producer business person. Two people share the duties. The creative guy can still do the creative stuff, but oversee everything. And then the business guy can be the guy that can be that person, that go-between between the creative people and the studios. Or the money, I guess you could say. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I could definitely do with fewer comic book movies and more UFO abduction movies and 4 Biodome sequels. Bucho? Wow, look at how far behind I am. See, I got behind again, guys. That's what happens. That's what happens on this show. I'm still going to go see Volume 3. Volume 3 looks awesome. I think Guardians 3 looks great. They only care if it makes money. That's right. Transformer movies are subpar at best, but they made money. Yep. And I mean, we sit here and we talk about how, like, you know, so many of those YouTube channels were like, oh, Kathleen Kennedy needs to be fired because the sequels were terrible. Disney doesn't care if you don't like the movies. Disney cares about whether they're profitable. And sure, they, you know, each one declined a little bit from the previous one. But all 3 of them made over $1 billion. I don't care who you are. That's a lot of freaking money. And they were completely fine with that. So of the 5 movies that she's produced, 4 of them made over $1 billion. I'd say that's a pretty good batting average, wouldn't you? That's the way they're looking at it. So Fast movies are amazing and made amazing money. Okay. Monica Rambeau is good. Don't care for Miss Marvel. Yeah, there you go. Monica Rambeau. See, I was so far behind, I didn't see that. I don't know anything about Brie Larson. Why does she have a reputation? She did an interview somewhere, and again, we talked about this before, but you might not have been here. Bonobo juice with your I'm so busy, you know. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. You know I'm kidding. But she did an interview where she was talking about I can't remember exactly, but it was something about we don't care what nerdy white guys think about my movie or something like that. And you have to think. Okay, first of all, she's absolutely right. She's really not making, they really didn't make that movie for nerdy white guys. They made that for girls to have representation in Marvel. That's the way that I looked at it. It's an inspiration to little girls. Turns out I still enjoyed the movie, and I'm a nerdy white guy. So, but you also have to understand that they do these press junkets where they're answering questions repeatedly for hours, and it gets tiring. And maybe somebody just caught her at the right time where she's just fed up and she tells it like it is. And you know what? I'm cool with that. I'm fine with that. And you know what? She may be talking about exactly me. Guess what? I don't give a crap because it'll take a lot for someone to ruffle my feathers. You know what I mean? But there were a lot of people out there, a lot of YouTubers who took offense to that. And they took offense to her talking up girl power and talking up all the, and so a lot of people didn't like that. But I say, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of Marvel characters that look like me. I mean, there are. I welcome different people, females. We have Black Panther, we have Captain Marvel, we have Shang-Chi. I'm cool. Bring more. Keep them coming. Oh, are we gonna have some homosexual Marvel characters? Cool, awesome. We're gonna have one. I don't care. That's what I'm saying. Is what I'm trying to say. And I don't understand why that's a problem. And when she says that yeah, this movie wasn't made for nerdy white guys. Now I could be wrong. I can't remember exactly what she said. But whatever it was, it didn't make an impression on me. So I don't know if it was because she wasn't talking about me, or maybe it's because I just didn't care she was talking about me. But either way, It's not that big of a deal. She's just a person. And people get angry and they say things that they don't mean. Or they say things that they mean, they just didn't mean to say. But you shouldn't judge somebody on their worst day. Anyway, I like Brie Larson. I continue to like her. I don't see what the big deal is. And then there was a video that I remember there was a video that went around where it showed she said something and Don Cheadle like rolled his eyes or something. And then apparently Jeremy Renner said like got up and did, he walked off the interview, whatever. I don't know what it was. But I was like, okay, did it affect the movie? No? Oh, okay. Well, then who the hell cares? You see how much crap Tom Cruise has done? Guess what? Makes awesome movies. You see how much crap John Travolta's done? Guess what? He's made some bad movies, but he's made some awesome movies. What the hell do I care? I don't care. I don't care what these people are like in real life. I don't care what athletes are like in real life, as long as, they're not, beating their wives or anything. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, who cares what they think? Does it affect the movie? No, then who cares? Is the movie good on its own or not? Anyway, the Fast and Furious films aren't movies, Ricky. They are cinema. Anyway, hope you had a good time at Retropalooza. Squiggles, we missed you, man. We missed you. Wait a minute. Okay, have the 3 Fs in charge of Star Wars and Marvel. No nuts. Feige, Favreau, and Filoni. But yeah, but who's going to be in charge of Marvel then? And the thing is I feel like Kevin Feige's going to want to, when he wants to leave Marvel, he's going to want to step back. You know what I mean? He's going to want to step back a little bit and just say, you know what? That's a lot of pressure. And maybe he loves it. I don't know. But jumping into, it's like jumping in from one oven to a volcano. So I don't know. Which is kind of why I like Tony Gilroy so much, because he was like, I don't even like Star Wars that much. I just wanted to tell a good story. And guess what? He did. But Marty Scorsese didn't say that about Fast and Furious. George R.R. Martin Scorsese. The only Martin that matters is Martin Lawrence. What is going on here? Is it too late to save the DC universe, or the damage has already been done? Dude, they're about to reboot it. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. The looks Rob gives me every time I mention Fast movies. I don't know. Just not my thing. But you know what? There's plenty of things not my thing. Twilight. They're making Twilight shows. They're going to do Twilight stuff. Guess what? Great. I hope you Twilight fans out there, I hope you love it. Not for me. There's plenty of things that aren't for me. The Transformers movies aren't for me. Fast and Furious, not for me. And that's cool. It's all good. The Meg. They're coming out with a Meg 2. Not for me. Sorry. When Jason Statham, kicks a fish in the face, not my thing. It's not my thing. Not sure I can go all the way with your Disney doesn't care if people like the movies thing. The more people like a movie, the more likely it is to make more money. And the more likely it is to become a franchise to make even more money. Sure. But that's not their goal on every movie. Their goal, every studio's goal, is to be profitable on that movie. That's all they care about. If they cared about the way that Star Wars was viewed after Rise of Skywalker, they would have planned it all better. That wasn't the goal. The goal was to make as much money as quickly as possible. That was the goal. And you can tell. You can tell by the way that it was made. By the way things went down. So yeah. I was saying all 3 of them in charge of both Marvel and Star Wars. Oh. Man, that's a big job, man. That would be a huge undertaking, Did you see they remade White Men Can't Jump? I did hear about it, but I don't know. Brie Larson is forgiven. I don't take personal offense to stuff like that. But if she bashed the Biodome audience, now wait a minute. She said something about Biodome? Well, get a rope. I don't Oh man. Oh, you guys. Now, I think it'll be possible if they reduce the number of projects going forward. I mean, it definitely needs something. And it is, if you think about it from any standpoint, you have a thing that's popular, you want to do more of that. Period. And usually popularity equals money. And what is every company in the world? Let's do it again, but let's see if we can do it cheaper. They cut corners. That's why things happen. I mean, things like this happen, you know? I can't agree. Rise of Skywalker doesn't feel like they didn't care if it was liked. In fact, quite the opposite. It has the feel of trying way too hard to be liked. Well, right. But that was the problem. They went off a bunch of, I feel like they took something like ChatGPT. They fed it a bunch of Reddit threads. And they said, okay, now crap out what you think is going to be the best thing or whatever. And they in trying to please everyone, they please no one. Because they didn't do what stories are supposed to do, which is to take what was given and roll with it. But that's just me. I kind of wish they had the series like how I suggested, one big series for Star Wars with everything that they want to do with a big season. Oh yeah, absolutely. You're talking about like all the different things? Like they fed posts by Star Wars Reddit crybabies into an AI. Oh, holy crap! I didn't even read that. But that's what I told Billy on. We were having a Star Wars discussion on the way home, and yeah, that's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said. Rise could have worked. I think it was a valiant effort. If the ending hit, it would have been okay. Absolutely, all would have been forgiven if things would have worked out. But that's the thing. It's like they were reading Reddit and they go, oh my gosh, look at all the threads on Palpatine. People love Palpatine. We got to bring Palpatine back. So they brought Palpatine back. Didn't matter that it didn't make any sense. It wasn't about the art. It wasn't about the story and the lore. And if it even made any sense, they just rolled with it because they thought it was going to be popular. That's it. But nobody seemed to like that. Oh, and hey, the kids are playing Fortnite. Let's put the Emperor, let's make a little tie-in where, oh my gosh, the Emperor is going to announce him returning in Fortnite. To be fair, Thor plays Fortnite. I mean, you're not wrong, Eric. You're not wrong. I mean, can you imagine the way, I mean, if you can look at that, I've only seen the movie twice. And I've seen bits and pieces. And this is the thing that Billy and I agreed on. Those movies look fantastic. They look amazing. Everything is technically like just beautiful. But the story is so all over the place. And it's just so annoying. But if you look at Oscar Isaac saying somehow Palpatine returned, you can see this look of, oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying this on his face. It's crazy. There's too much cack all the way through that movie for it to even be saved by a perfect ending. I mean, maybe. I want an Easter egg where Thor competes against Ninja and other pro Fortnite characters as an end credit scene. That would be awesome. Yeah, I don't care for any of the new movies all that much, but dang, they look freaking awesome. And they have moments of just absolute brilliance, Kylo Ren talking with Han Solo. Dude, how can you not be a little bit moved by that scene? It's moving. There are moments of just absolute brilliance in those movies. But unfortunately, moments don't make a movie. They don't make a story, which is the hardest part about writing a screenplay. And look, I give Chris Terrio a lot of shit. Chris Terrio wrote The Rise of Skywalker. He also wrote Batman vs. Superman. He also wrote Argo, which I believe won an Academy Award. I give Chris Terrio a lot of shit, but he had a hard job. A hard job. Colin Trevorrow's script was tossed in the trash, and they said, okay, this is what we want. Go. And he probably did the best he could. What I don't forgive Chris Terrio for is on the special features of the Blu-ray or the 4K or whatever, him talking about how brilliant the script is. Dude, back up a bit, please. Back up a bit. You know? But anyway, we're going on this Star Wars thing, and man, we got some we got some CinemaCon stuff to talk about. Is the Thor Fortnite thing from Love and Thunder? I think that's what he was playing in Endgame, wasn't it? I liked Endgame, and I'm already forgetting what happened in it. It was Endgame, yes. When Luke brushed off his shoulder, I was done. That was just so not a Star Wars thing to do. Why? Oh, this? Dude, I thought that was awesome. Because Luke is just like, he's just, I don't know. I guess maybe it's because he was playing to Ben right then. And he's like, huh? Like, what are you going to do now? Huh? What are you going to do now, you little bitch? You know, I liked it. But anyway. Either I'm old or, no, I'm just old. Yeah, probably Bucho. He was fat and out of shape playing games with that rock dude. Yeah, exactly. But I do want to, before we get off the Star Wars talk, I do want to bring this up. This has been kind of buried within a lot of the talk over the last few days. Carrie Fisher to be honored on May 4th with star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Hell yes. Hell yeah. That's my princess right there. Yeah, that's my princess right there. Hell yeah. It's about freaking time. Nice. No nuts. We go to SoCal early and go see the star. I'm flying in Thursday night. Late Thursday night. I already bought the ticket late Thursday night. So I don't know. Maybe. Well, on May 4th. Oh, on May 4th. So yeah, holy crap. That'll be that weekend. Holy shit. Okay. I mean, I'm down if you are. How are they going to get handprints and feet? No, it's the star. Not the handprints. I think does she have the hands? Because that's technically a different thing, right? That's in front of the Chinese theater. That's a different thing. Yeah, there you go. The star is different. But I just thought that was cool. I thought that news was awesome. So there you go. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they already have her hands and feet. Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Now, for those of you who don't know what's going on, CinemaCon is a convention that the theater owners, the North American theater owners, which is NATO, by the way, which is kind of interesting. Anyway, they do this thing every year where they get together and it's basically, hey, this is what's coming for the next year. So even though some studios talk about what's coming in the future, most of the focus is on the stuff that's coming out in the next year. So this is the lineup this week. So last night, Sony Pictures started everything off. This morning, we had Warner Brothers, and then they are screening, in fact, it should be over by now, The Flash. Just curious. Hold on. I'm gonna check this after I get off the screen. But tomorrow morning, we've got Disney. 4 p.m., we have Universal and Focus Features. 10 a.m. on the 27th, we got Paramount. And then at 2:30 p.m., Lionsgate. So we should be seeing a lot of interesting stuff. Fast movies will absolutely be shown tomorrow night at that Universal's thing. Yeah, they have R2 and 3PO. Yeah. I mean, Jay and Silent Bob. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that don't technically have stars on the Walk of Fame that have the hands and the feet and stuff. So there's a big difference. But I'm curious to see if anybody's out of The Flash yet. Because they did release this trailer. First reactions. Here we go. First reactions just got out. This is from 9:07 p.m., so 8 minutes ago. The Flash is tremendous. Forget DC. It is without a doubt among the best superhero films ever made. An all-timer. Inventive storytelling, fantastic action sequences, great cast, so many nerdy details. I'm in tears at the end. Everything you want from a superhero film and more. The Flash is hands down one of the best superhero films of all time. No joke. The Flash is the ultimate movie-going experience as it has a little bit of everything. Okay. Far more madcap than I expected. Really nailed what reading a 5-issue crossover comic book is like. Tons of Ezra Miller being zany and time paradox stuff. Nerds will lose their minds at the ending and beginning and middle. Comics. Let's see. It has some stuff in it you will not believe. It showcases much more of Barry Allen's powers. Indeed, one of DC's best and fits nicely as a bridge story between the old and new DCEU franchises. It's also the funniest DC movie. Yep, The Flash is as good as rumored. It's Back to the Future meets Spider-Man No Way Home with all the humor and heart of the former and action and surprises of the latter. If anything, it might be a tad too ambitious, but it's also just incredibly satisfying, heartwarming, and fun. Now, if you don't know who Jermaine Lucier is, he is very, very close to my sensibility. I mean, this is just a personal opinion, but from reading his reviews, he's very, like, a lot of times when, you see all of these different reactions from people and they go, oh my God, it's the greatest movie ever. Like we were just reading, he's usually much more, look, I'm going to tell you the truth here. I'm not wowed by, a movie, so whatever, a movie studio flying me out to do a thing. I'm just going to tell the truth. So the fact that he says this is actually pretty good news. Chris delivered more than I could have hoped. Acting is beyond great. Keaton delivers everything you want. Supergirl is my new favorite superhero. Genuinely shocked this movie meets and surpasses hype. Never expected that. Flash is fantastic. Ezra Miller has made a lot of mistakes, but they're so good in this movie. Loved Keaton, the action, humor, and emotion. Andy Muschietti, he's crafted something special. Thumbs way up. Didn't show after the credit scenes. Truly one of the best ever. Super inventive, both visually and in concept. Emotions hit intensely hard. Solid surprises. Flash is awesome. Oh, that we already read that one. Well, I saw Scott Mance earlier. Taylor Gonzalez. Oh, he's from the John Campea show and actually just recently cried several times. Wow, I can't even believe what I saw on the big screen. Y'all are in for a treat. Okay. So basically what I'm seeing is that it went over pretty well. So there you go. Fast movies, yeah. Miller may be a troubled character in real life, but I really dug him as Flash in the Snyder Cut. Dude, his talent up the wazoo. I mean, look, like you said, Ezra Miller has had issues, but I think acting talent is there for sure. If only they got Clooney Batman instead. Will Batman eat ass? I mean, The Game Chasers has quite the, that's quite the question, for sure. And you know what I say to that? I say, this is what I say to that. The answer to that question is that. Yes. Woo! Okay. But yeah. Bassman. Cockknocker. Oh, it's got to be Cockknocker, right? So either James Gunn wasn't exaggerating when he said Flash is legit aces, or all of these tweeters are too. Well, the thing is, you have to put all of that stuff. You have to put all of that stuff on, just keep it in your head and you go, okay, a lot of people who went to the biggest convention for movies ever that year. Like there's not going to be anything like CinemaCon for the rest of the year. It's a special thing, right? It's where all of the studios come to wow theater owners, the theaters, right? And a lot of people get to go. A lot of media gets to go to this thing. Okay, hearing that The Flash is amazing, you can't just say yeah. No nuts. Let's go to CinemaCon next year. I want to go, Eric. I seriously want to go. Seriously want to go. But we'll see. We'll see if I can. Oh, wait a minute. Actually, let me hit this button here. Let me hit this. I didn't do a thing. Let me see if I can do this. And put this here. And then put this here. Yes, you dirty bitch. Yes, that works. Okay, and then we're going to do this. Yes. All right. I forgot to set something up earlier. But yeah, I really want to go. I really want to go to CinemaCon because it is, like I said, it's the place where all the studios come to get the theater owners to say, well, yeah, we want that movie in our theaters. It's kind of a big thing. So yeah, I would love to go. But I think you need a media badge. I don't think they don't just let anybody in. You know what I mean? But the thing is, again, you have to take all that stuff at face value and just say, okay, so these people are, I think it's in LA, I think it's in LA. CinemaCon. Pretty sure. Hollywood, right? Oh, no. I think it's in Vegas this year because I think they're at Caesars. I don't know. But I've gotten media badges with YouTube credentials before. Wouldn't hurt to try. Let's do it. Dude, it'd be amazing. It'd be amazing. It'd be amazing if I could get to go. If we could get to go, that'd be even better. That'd be awesome. Awesome. I wonder if I could just do it. I have to look into that. Wish I could have seen The Flash tonight. I mean, right? Now, see, last year, when they did it last year, this was around this time last year, they showed Top Gun Maverick. The whole movie. And it was a surprise. And then they did Ghostbusters Afterlife. They got to see Ghostbusters Afterlife like months early. It's amazing what happens here at CinemaCon. And again, well, I'll go into some of the stuff that they did. But anyway, so CinemaCon, like I said, North American Theater Owners, NATO. That's them. And this convention, as I said, happens every year. And it's literally the studios sucking up to the theater owners. And they're going to show off what they got. So last night, Sony, one of the biggest things that they talked about, and many of you, I even posted something about it in my Discord, and you've probably seen it on the internet if you're, on the internet. Kraven the Hunter. Aaron Taylor Johnson is playing Kraven the Hunter, and it's going to be rated R. And they showed footage, and apparently, I think they said he bites this guy's nose off, and it's like extremely violent. Like the body count in this movie is going to be nuts. I don't know anything really that much about Kraven the Hunter, but people were saying it was freaking awesome. Yeah, different NATO there, Bujo. Different NATO. There's a few movies that they showed off. Dumb Money, which I think I talked about it before, but I don't remember. But it's basically about the GameStop meme stock stuff surrounding GameStop. But it's got Paul Dano in it. It's got Sebastian Stan in it. I'm trying to remember all the people. A lot of this footage didn't get out. But again, reading reports, they said, man, Dumb Money is one of those movies where wasn't really excited about it, and now I am. So it's kind of like, again, the theaters are coming to wow or the studios are coming to wow the theater owners. So yeah, they're going to show some of their best stuff. And yeah, Dumb Money is one of those. Looks interesting. Of course, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse looks amazing. He said that one was, of course, yeah, of course it's going to be, yeah, want to see it. Gran Turismo, the movie. They said, the report that I was seeing, no interest in the movie beforehand. But what they did is that they took an actual true story where people were paid. It almost sounds like Last Starfighter or The Wizard or something, where people get to, they try out on a video game, but then they get to actually race in the thing. So this is somewhat based on a true story. It's got David Harbour in it. Gran Turismo. They said it was really, it looks good. Next up, Equalizer 3. Equalizer 3, which I didn't even know was coming, but the trailer got out, or they put the trailer out, and yeah, I just got what you said. Bonobo Juice. Will Clint Eastwood be in Gran Turismo? I'm pretty sure that's Gran Torino, but a wonderful joke. Get off my track. I can't do a good Clint Eastwood. I can't. But yeah, great joke though. I love it. But yeah, the Equalizer 3, the trailer looks pretty good actually. And what they said was what they saw of it. I don't know if they just saw trailer footage or if they saw more footage than that, but they were like, yeah, that looks really, really good. And finally, from Sony, Napoleon. Ridley Scott's Napoleon starring Joaquin Phoenix. Now, this movie was financed by Apple TV, or by Apple. And Apple said that they're going to be spending $1 billion a year on theatrical releases. And the way that they're doing it is actually really, really smart, because they're not just saying, okay, this studio is going to get the distribution rights. They're not doing that. In this case, it's Sony that's going to distribute Napoleon for Ridley Scott and Apple. But then Killers of the Flower Moon is being distributed by, I think, Universal. So basically, Apple's saying, we're going to pick whoever we think is best for this movie. And that's pretty smart. But they're spending a lot of money on theatrical releases. And they said, I think they said 8 to 9 minutes was shown. And they said it was absolutely brilliant. And they said it's two different armies team up to fight Napoleon, and Napoleon completely outsmarts them. And they said it was brutal. You get the feeling like from the people that are being attacked that were like, oh my God, this is terrible. And that Napoleon was like not even letting them retreat. It just sounded awesome. And of course, you know me, I'm a Ridley Scott mark. I love Ridley Scott. He can very rarely does he do wrong. And especially on a big epic like this, Joaquin Phoenix is Napoleon. Dude, I'm in. I'm totally in on this movie. So that wrapped up Sony last night. And then today, of course, we just saw that the Flash trailer came out today, and they're showing it, and they've shown it actually at CinemaCon. You saw that. So we won't even talk about that because that's on the list, but yeah. So they started off with, and this was an interesting one, The Color Purple, a remake of The Color Purple. And this has been like, almost like, I don't know if Oprah Winfrey is like a producer, but she's definitely involved in, this remake. And everything that I heard was like, okay, that sounds awesome. Now, if you've never seen The Color Purple, 1985, Steven Spielberg directed, Quincy Jones did the music, Whoopi Goldberg plays the main character, Oprah Winfrey won Best Supporting Actress for the part. The movie is, it's seriously good. It's like seriously good. Now, They also did a Broadway thing with it. So I think this one's going to be more in line with that because there's a lot of singers involved. But dude, I loved The Color Purple. I don't know if you ever saw it. It's one of those that I only watched recently for the first time because it's one of those Spielberg movies I never got around to watching for whatever reason. Why? I know why. At 9 years old, this was not the kind of movie that, number one, my parents would probably let me watch, and number two, a movie that I would want to sit through. But I'm old now, and I have patience. So, yeah, there you go. But anyway, everybody, like, the report was like, yeah, it looks really good. And I think Spielberg is also producing it as well. But anyway, next up was Barbie. Another situation where it was like, okay, this is a movie that didn't appeal to me, and apparently, and I'm talking about this viewpoint of this person talking about it, and now it is like, holy crap, this movie is going to be bigger than I thought it was going to be. So interesting there. Of course, they touched on movies that are either going to go in production or are coming out later. And again, CinemaCon tries to focus on movies that are coming out in the next year. So all of these movies that I'm about to say are not coming out this year. Beetlejuice 2. Beetlejuice 2. Did you hear me? I said Beetlejuice 2. I'm excited for Beetlejuice 2 because dude. Michael Keaton is awesome. He's freaking awesome. So yeah, I want a Beetlejuice 2. Yeah, Michael Keaton's involved. Are you kidding me? With the new Wednesday actor. Yes. Yes. I'm excited. I am excited about Beetlejuice 2. I want it. I want it. Give it to me. The next movie. Yes, Ricky, that's exactly right. Exactly right. In fact, with that, I'm going to have a vape. Anyway, the next movie on the list, Furiosa. Anya Taylor-Joy is taking over for Charlize Theron, playing a younger version of that character. Sounds good. Interesting. Joker 2. They showed a little, apparently they showed a little bit of that. A little bit of that. But nothing to go crazy, whatever. They're making Final Destination 6. Which I was kind of like, really? Really? Wow. Okay. I really liked the first movie. And of course, the name Final Destination is part of a lyric from a Nine Inch Nails song. Of course, I like it. Pictures in my head of the final destination. Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Final Destination. So then here are the other movies that are coming out this year that they're focused on. Of course, I talked about The Flash already. Wonka. Another movie that was like, that might be interesting. And now they're like super hyped about it. Okay? So Timothée Chalamet is basically playing a younger version of Gene Wilder's Wonka. So it's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It's kind of like this. This is sort of a prequel to that. And they said, that's a lyric from my favorite Nine Inch Nails album. It's from Even Deeper, isn't it? No, Big Come Down. Big Come Down. Sorry, that's from Big Come Down. Awesome. And it's a great album. The Fragile. Absolutely. But they said that Timothée Chalamet he brings a lot to the role. And this is a less jaded Willy Wonka. And they also said that Hugh Grant is in it. and he's playing an Oompa Loompa. Hugh Grant will be playing an Oompa Loompa. And they said it was awesome. They said it was freaking awesome. And they laughed really, really hard. Hugh Grant's having a bit of a resurgence, like he's coming back. But they said it was awesome. So yeah, look, I love Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I even like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the Johnny Depp version. They are not doing anything. They're basically like, that one didn't happen. So this one is supposed to be like a prequel to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory with Gene Wilder from 1973, I think. So anyway, interested in that. Of course, they had to show Dune 2, Leon's most anticipated movie of the year, Dune 2. And Denis Villeneuve came out with Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya. And they basically said that Dune 2 is a lot of action. Like it's like, this is the main course, kind of. So, hey, I'm down. I'm down. And the footage that they talked about, they said it was awesome, and they can't wait to see it. Of course, I'm right there with them. I love Dune very much. I still have only seen bits and pieces of it, other than the first time I've seen it, because I'm waiting for April to watch it again. But I want to watch it again. In fact, I might just go ahead and watch it again loud when she's not here, because that movie deserves volume. And I'm telling you, if you didn't like Dune and you didn't watch it with a 5.1 system or in a theater, I hesitate to say this because I'm not a gatekeeper, but I feel like you didn't experience the full effect of Dune. And it's kind of like people who said they watched Avatar on, their computer the first time. The first time they watch it on a computer. Yeah, of course you're going to sit there and say, oh yeah, it's just basically, whatever. Dude, if you experience the movies the way they're meant to be seen in a theater with whatever, it's awesome. It's awesome. And it's that experience is part of the thing. They shot the entire movie with IMAX cameras. So I'm really, really interested to see how this movie turns out. Very, very excited. Bucho said, don't care about Wonka, but Chalamet's been good in everything I've seen him in. For sure, one of the more interesting screen presences of that younger crop of actors. Absolutely. If you haven't seen The King, I don't know if it's available on Netflix in New Zealand, but he was great in that. You can also see Robert Pattinson in that. It's a really fun, it's a really good movie. He's just good. He's just good. I don't care what anybody says. Basically, I don't care what Leon says. All right. I think Timothée Chalamet is freaking amazing. And I can't wait. I can't wait. I say that hyperbolically because I can wait. I can. And I will. But I'm really, really excited for Dune 2. Okay? The two movies, and these are the last two movies that I was going to talk about from Warner Brothers. They showed some from it, and apparently it was met with meh. And that is, unfortunately, Blue Beetle and Aquaman 2. Both of those movies, they said, just didn't hit for them. It didn't feel like it was that big of a deal. Which is unfortunate because Blue Beetle looks like it could be interesting. I like, apparently his name is, the way you say his name is Xolo? Xolo? Anyway, I like him. But man, I can't lie. I don't like George Lopez. So, trailer for Blue Beetle was WTF, as in showed a lot for a trailer. Yeah. It's weird. But at the same time, who knows? Who knows? In Aquaman 2, look, I was one of the few people that apparently didn't like the first Aquaman that much. I mean, I own it because April said we got to get that. I wonder if that's because of Jason Momoa. But anyway, watched it and was like, yeah. To me, Aquaman was just like on par with Shazam, where it was kind of like, I mean, okay, but man, these were really profitable movies. But why? I just don't get it. I just didn't care. So I have indeed seen The King, and yes, Pattinson is aces in that movie. Dude is clearly having a blast. Yeah. George Lopez sucks. I said it. Well, Ricky, look, I'm not gonna say anything bad about your opinion. But yeah, I agree. I just never liked him. I felt like he was okay, I'm gonna say this. If you're a certain, and I'm talking about George Lopez, but I'm talking about a lot of different people here, okay? But if your jokes center around your appearance, your gender, your sexual orientation, your height, that's very base level funny. That's like, oh, I heard that joke once. That's funny. Now I never need to hear it again. The best comedians are the ones that make you think. That over a period of years, you watch their performance again and you go, holy crap. That's still relevant. That's still a relevant thing that you're talking about. Wow, that really makes me think. And also, I'm laughing my ass off. There are certain comedians that can do that, and some that can't. To me, almost said George Lucas. To me, George Lopez is one of those where if you're just talking about the surface level stuff, yeah. Cinematic version of I Just Want to Rock was hilarious. Oh, yes. Yeah. I got what you're saying. Yes. George Lopez just isn't funny in anything, in my opinion. And Wraith says he has his moments, but that's about it. Yeah. It's just one of those things that to me as a comedian, there's more to life than, pardon my French, who you're fucking. And yeah, there's a lot of people that are like that. There's just a big difference between that surface level crap and the deeper stuff that makes you think and all that stuff. I'll even choose Kevin Hart over George Lopez. I don't know if I've watched a Kevin Hart comedy thing lately. I wonder if he's changed. Because he, for a long time, was like, man, I'm short and I'm black. And I'm like, okay. I mean, yeah, that's funny. Kind of. What else you got? You know what I mean? But, like, I'll tell you somebody who never. I shouldn't say that because I don't know if I've seen a lot of their older stuff. But it's just, I don't know, man. It's, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. When every joke starts with, so I'm whatever, I tune out. Yes. Yes, Scat. I mean, we have similar tastes too. But, like, you know, some of the greats, George Carlin. Holy crap. Bill Hicks, you know? Jerry Seinfeld. But what's weird is those three, I mean, Louis C.K., right? But those they're all very different. Carlin is very like political but I don't know. It's so good. He's so good. Seinfeld is it's weird how what he does is it seems very base level, but then it digs deep and you're surprised by it. And it's, man, Richard Pryor, Dave Chappelle, Pauly Shore. See, Eddie Murphy is one of those where I feel like uh I saw him way like my parents wouldn't let me watch him, you know? My parents wouldn't let me watch him because he was too foul. They let me watch Bill Cosby, but they wouldn't let me watch Eddie Murphy. And when I finally got around to seeing some of his stuff, it was dated. Like, everybody was like, oh man, Robin Williams is so funny. And then I watched some of his stuff and it's like, that's very 70s, early 80s kind of humor. He didn't really, as a comedian, he didn't really evolve, you know? And that's kind of fun too, is watching a great comedian evolve with the times. I think Louis C.K. is one of those where he started off very base level stuff and then got deeper and deeper. He still does base level type stuff, but then he'll hit you with some knowledge every now and then, and that's kind of fun too. But dude, my favorite is Bill Hicks, right? I mean, Bill Hicks is just my favorite because even from somebody who died in 1994, some of his stuff still hits because it's like, that sounds like just like today. Wow. So I was fortunate to find a Richard Pryor record and a George Carlin record at the thrift store. Yeah. Bill Hicks is easily my top 3. Yeah, I mean, I love Bill Burr. I watched somebody the other day. I don't remember their name, but I was like, wow, he's really good. I don't remember who it is though. I also, and this is something that I've kind of gotten off of YouTube, like YouTube Shorts and stuff, but there's comedians on there are certain comedians that, like, the YouTube Shorts, right? They play to the crowd and they're very crowd based comedians. That's not easy at all. And they're good. They're really, really good. Now, we might be seeing, 1 minute of 3 weeks worth of tries at the Comedy Store. You know what I mean? But who are your favorite female comedians, Rob? Oh, you're hovering over the cancellation button, are you? I'll tell you what. When Ellen was in comedy, she was one of the best. One of the best. A lot of people say Joan Rivers. I never really got into her. I don't like, what's her name? Amy whatever. I'm surprised that there is somebody, I don't know a lot of the new comedians' names, but there's a really, really good female comedian that I've seen recently that I was like, wow, she's really good. Like, really good. Now, everything I've seen of her is very base level type, that base level stuff, but that kind of gets you in the door. And then they hit you with the knowledge, you know? But she's very smart as one of, she, like, very, very smart. The way that the joke plays out, I really enjoyed, whoever this is. And she's actually really attractive too. But anyway, I'm trying to think, but I think Ellen is, man, I watched multiple specials, and holy crap, Ellen was freaking awesome. She was really, really good. I don't know. Oh, Tig. Tig is good. Tig is awesome. Tig Notaro, she's great. Yes. Maria Bamford. Who dat? Who dat? Maybe if I see her, maybe I'll go, oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Maria Bamford. She is kind of funny, but she's kind of surface level to me. She's not my favorite. She's kind of like, who can I? To me, she's always been very surface level. Not one of my favorites. Rachel Wolfson. You know what? Why am I doing it on my phone? I could just pull it up on the freaking computer, Rob. Rachel Wolfson. Never heard of her. Oh, never heard of her. Only because she was on Jackass. Oh, okay. The files are in the computer? Yeah, exactly. Like what? Why am I not using let's see. Let's see if I yeah, Amy Schumer. That's the one that I'm like, no, she's terrible. Is Kate McKinnon considered a comedian? If so, Kate McKinnon. I love Kate McKinnon. Leslie Jones, I love her. Seriously love her. Wanda Sykes was a little too, this is who I am, and you know what I mean? I'm trying to find the one that I'm thinking of. Because, like, is Tina Fey considered? I don't know. I mean, this list has Carol Burnett on it, Aubrey Plaza. Were they stand-ups? Like, good. Maybe I should say stand-up. I love Leslie Jones. I don't care what anybody says. I think Leslie Jones is freaking hilarious to me. She was honestly my favorite part of that Ghostbusters 2016 movie. But hey, you know, I get it. I get it when some people don't like her or whatever, but man, God, she cracked me up. She cracks me up. Wanda Sykes, Taylor Tomlinson. Maybe that's her. Is it Taylor Tomlinson, the one that I saw recently? That face is, or not face, but that picture makes her look like what? Oop, that's. Oh, that is her. Taylor Tomlinson. That's who I've seen. She's really good. The few things that I've seen of her really made me laugh. See, it's that. Like, how am I supposed to? That doesn't. I don't know. She looks different. But yeah, she's pretty funny. But again, have only seen a couple of things. Sham Rao. How's it going? I didn't see you there. Welcome. Good to see you. I'd like to write a stand-up on my childhood. It would be interesting. Ninjinzu. No nuts, dude. Do it. Do it. Do the thing, man. Sarah Silverman's earlier stand-up was really good, but I haven't dug her more recent works. I liked her TV show, too. Yeah, I can't really remember a lot of her earlier stuff. But yeah, I mean, if you're counting that, I mean, Tina Fey, like, I don't know if you're counting people like that were on Saturday Night Live, because if that's true, then there's a ton of them on there that I adore. Leslie Jones being one of them. She's seriously funny. Kate McKinnon, my God. That woman is so damn funny. And she's supposed to be in Barbie too, which I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to Barbie because of all the things that I've heard about how wacky it is. Because it's like, uh, I can't remember what they were saying about it, but it sounded interesting and like, oh, this isn't just gonna be like, oh, what's it like to live in Barbie world? Me, me, me. No, it's like, I don't know. Her face got real skinny like a lot of older female stars. Barbie seems fun. It just looks funny. And dude, Ryan Gosling, come on. That guy is hilarious. If you haven't seen The Nice Guys, what are you even doing? Go watch The Nice Guys with Ryan Gosling, Russell Crowe, Kristen Wiig, another funny one. Yes. Faye and McKinnon are talented AF, but funny acting is a different skill than stand-up. True, but a lot of what especially Tina Fey was doing during Weekend Update was basically stand-up material, in my opinion. But I just like Tina Fey. Tina Fey's awesome too. Uh Sorry, I was looking at this tweet. Okay. Uh the Pope's Exorcist looks real good too. You know, I've heard that it's not bad. I mean, it's not great, but it's not bad either. That's kind of interesting because they said it's completely watchable because of Russell Crowe. And he did an interview recently where he basically said that he almost walked off of Gladiator because the script was so bad. And I'm like, really? That's interesting. Why haven't I heard this before? I thought it was kind of interesting. Maybe he's fine with telling that story now, but I mean, that was 22 years ago. Who wrote Gladiator? I'm not sure. He said the only reason that he stayed was because uh 2000 is when it came out. Writers: David Franzoni, John Logan, William Nicholson. But they said there were like at one point there were like different gladiators that had sponsorships, which is true. That is true, but that's not what he wanted to do in the movie. So it was interesting. Can't expect much since it's just another exorcism movie. Yeah. Those were Russell's bros. Huh? Rob, when we talk, we got to make time to talk about Schindler's List. This is Rachel. I was talking about Rachel earlier on the show. One of the highlights of Retropalooza this weekend. Rachel, welcome. Yes. I mean, oh, that's why he stayed. I gotcha. Myron, yo, playing some BF2. I hope you're having fun, Myron. Good to see you. But yes, Rachel, I mean, look, I'm at your disposal whenever you want. I said hi earlier, but you was busy. Oh, I'm sorry. I'd sometimes look, there we go. I'm not much of comedians, but I like Josh Blue. I love dumb shit like Paul Rudd is so funny to me. Oh yeah, Paul Rudd's funny. But welcome, Rachel. Yes, sorry. But yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, we'll talk about whatever you want. I mean, it's going to be your show, right? So I'll follow your lead. It's kind of like a dance, only not. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's a crow exorcism. You know, I think that movie looks fun. With that trailer came on when April and I went and watched John Wick 4. The trailer came on, and after it was over, I look at her thinking, you know, like Like, hey, you want to go see that? And she's, before I even say anything, she's going, no. She does not like movies like that. So, anyway, it's kind of funny. But yeah, I still want to see it. And Myron, we're just doing the thing. In fact, we're about to wrap up because it's been 3 hours. My back still hurts from that freaking couch that I slept on. And I've been, for 2 days straight, I've been just like, I don't know if it's not, I don't think it's like, the con crud, you hear about, when people come back from conventions and they're all sick and stuff. It's not like that. I'm not sick. I'm worn out. My body is worn out. So, dude, I cannot dance. I know what you're saying. Yes, Rachel. It's fine. We don't have to, I can't dance either. But yeah, it's kind of like that. Schindler's List is in your top 3 list. Well, Bucho. By the way, everybody, that's Bucho. Wearing my Order 42 shirt. So yeah. What was the last movie April was hyped for? I can't really remember. I'm trying to remember the last movie that we went and saw in the theater other than, I mean, she's hyped for Guardians 3. She really loves she loves Grogu, so of course she's excited to watch Mandalorian. She goes, "Aw," every time he comes on screen, which is, I mean, it's understandable. Grogu's cute as hell, but she loved John Wick. She really, well, I guess John Wick 4, because she really, really wanted to see that. And we were going to go with her sister, but her sister was like, why does this keep playing trailers? I hate IMDb. IMDb has gotten to be a pain in the bootay because it just constantly plays trailers and you're like, quit showing me trailers and ads for things that I'm not looking at. I don't care. Stop it. I won't watch trailers on IMDb. Screw it. But anyway. But yeah, John Wick 4, man, she was pumped about that. But her sister ended up buying tickets for a day where it was like, hey, we're going to go watch it on this day. And we're like, okay. And then her sister bought tickets for that day. And so she went and saw it. She's at the theater waiting for us. She's like, are y'all almost here? And she's like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? She goes, I bought tickets and I'm sitting in the theater. I'm like, yeah, but that's for Thursday, not today. So she ended up watching the movie by herself. And she goes, that movie was too long. She didn't care for it. I loved it. I thought it was great. Let's see. Love that movie since I was a child. I saw it at the theater when it came out. It's so awesome. Schindler's List? You saw that as a kid? Wow. I get more info I'm looking for from a movie's Wikipedia than IMDb page. Yeah. That's absolutely true. Absolutely true. And it's but what's weird is that like you can't really trust either one. And now like the IMDb pages, and I mean even Rotten Tomatoes and some of that stuff, it's so swayed by, especially like the ratings and stuff are swayed by people that are angry at life. So they downvote things that, you know what I mean? And it's just like, come on, really? Like there's no reason for, look, I'm just going to say it. There's no reason for for the Marvels trailer to have that many dislikes. There's not. And there are so many cases where people just decide, oh, we're all going to hate this. Okay, let's go dogpile it. And it's like, come on, man. Give this thing a chance. And like For whatever reason, whoever's got it in for the Game Chasers or Eric or whoever have been giving ones to Adventures in Game Chasing on IMDb. So now it was at like an 8.1 or something like that. And then it dropped and dropped. And now it's at like a 6.4. They're not realizing that, yeah, you might dislike this one or this person or whatever. But the rating on an IMDb page is looked at by, everyone, the studios. And if I say, hey, I worked on Adventures in Game Chasing, and they go look and it's at a 6.3 or whatever it is, dude, you don't even know me, but you're affecting my career. So, how about not do that, you ass? So yeah, it's a thing. And I hope people will judge our movie based on, the quality of the movie and not some asshole's view on IMDb and their review talking about how bad the sound mix is when it's clearly that was the pirated version that they watched. So, F you a little bit, dude, whoever you are. Anyway, sorry, I'll get off my soapbox. First stop for me, for movie info, is always Wikipedia. IMDb is such a barely usable mess of a website. There are some really, really good things that IMDb does, but just like every other website in the world now, it's covered with ads, and I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of everything being about the money. F him all the way. I mean, right, Rachel? Right? You know that guy gave Son of the Mask a 10. Are you kidding me? Are you being serious, or are you just saying because he's an idiot? Just because you've reviewed a bunch of movies on IMDb does not make you does not make you anything. It doesn't make you anything. But IMDb looks at it, oh, he's a top reviewer. F that. Try not to say F-bomb too much. But no, don't do that. I mean, no. I've gone to a bunch of baseball games. It doesn't mean that I know how to play baseball. Right? I've seen a bunch of UFC fights. Does that mean that I can fight as well as those guys? No. You're nothing. You're a viewer. And guess what? So am I. So why should his opinion matter more than mine? I don't know, but that's the way it is. I don't place much value in any of the movie rating sites. You know what? Not Gary. You're absolutely right. But the thing is, again, Rotten Tomatoes, to me, the reason that I look at it is because it's a good baseline. If I can go to that website and go, okay, so 30% of those people, of the reviewers, didn't like it. Or I'm sorry, 70% of the reviewers didn't like the movie, then that's probably, maybe, but a lot of times I'll read the reviews from the people that I like, or watch the reviews like Chris Stuckman or Jeremy Johns or any of those people. What's his name? Dan Morell. He's good too. If those people didn't like it, then I'm probably not going to like it. But if one of them can go, you know what, I kind of liked it, then I'll probably give it a shot, because it may end up being something that I like. So it's just another tool, It's kind of like, in a way, it's like going to read, you look at the Amazon reviews and you go, I'm just going to read the first one and that's it. No, you should read a bunch of them, because one might be just an idiot. So we should start reviewing the reviewers. Well, I kind of did. But the thing is, every reviewer has the potential to get it wrong or to not get it. There's been many times, and that's the thing. In this day and age, how many times people admit when they're wrong? Doesn't happen much. But you know what? That's what's called honesty, integrity. The thing that I really wanted to ask Roger Ebert before he died, and I just never got around to doing, was how many movies, or can you think of any movies that you reviewed and you reviewed it poorly, and then you came back around to it, you watched it again for whatever reason, and you enjoyed it a lot more than you did when you reviewed it? Because to me, that's really, really fascinating to me. Or those movies that hit differently at different times in your life, or maybe you just weren't in the mood. Because that happens. You know? I love that stuff. I've been watching wrestling my whole life, and I'm still nervous to step in a ring. I wouldn't bet on you to last 3 rounds against Nico Price or Patty Pimblett, Rob, but I'd give you even odds against CM Punk. I mean, yeah. Just check. Son of the Mask has 3.6 rating, 3.6 thousand, 3,600 ratings of 10. Wow. I think you've got to have a decent idea of what the reviewer likes and how that compares to yourself. Some of my favorite reviewers have a completely different taste than me. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's this is good, but because of this, you know? And there can be, I mean, I've said it many times. Roger Ebert was, to me, one of the kings of this. And there have been many movies that we disagreed on. But I get his points. And a lot of times there will be movies that he's given good reviews to that aren't his thing. But he said, this movie was made for this purpose. And you know what? It achieved that purpose. Hence, it's good for those people that like that. So, anyway. I can't trust any website that has Biodome at less than 9.8 out of 10. Bucho, everybody! Yeah, Ebert gave The Crow a thumbs down. Still a good reviewer. Yeah. But if you read his review, see, that's the thing. And that's another thing. That's why I started giving like star ratings. It's hard for me to do that. And I know it's supposed to be like a baseline. It's supposed to be that first thing you see, then you watch. No. Some people just look, oh, well, he only gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Yeah, but why? That's the important part. It's the why. So it's hard for me to give ratings because so much of it is lost because there's nuance, you know? Like this 3 out of 4, I usually do 3 out of 4 stars, but this 3 out of 4 is different than this 3 out of 4. You know? This one is, it's got its problems, but I'm still recommending it for fans of the genre. And this one is, man, there were some problems in this movie that kept it from getting to a 4. But it's still a really, really well done movie, but it's got problems. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different nuance there, and it's hard to do that. I've loved movies, then years later destroyed them, then years later landed in the middle. Had been 3 different reviews from one guy. Right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like Howard the Duck. I loved that movie when I was a kid. That movie's that's not good. It's not a good movie. There are things I like about it, but they're also like, sorry, but man, that movie's got problems. A lot of problems. You know? But yeah. Yeah. But look, guys, it's 10:15 and my back is still hurting. And this chair hasn't fixed it, which means, yeah, I've got more problems. But yeah, it's time. It's time to get off. It's time to stop streaming, not get off, because then some of you get excited and, oh, Rob Denning's gonna get off. You know what I mean? Nobody does that. Sorry. But hey, seriously, I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for, coming out and I mean, for those of you who come in for a few minutes and those of you who maybe this is your first time, maybe this is, you've been here since the, Twitch days, whatever. I appreciate you guys so much. And I hope to see you guys soon. Again, I don't know about this weekend, but we need to try to get together this weekend. We got to get together this weekend because I'm going to be gone all next weekend. So we're talking about Discord. So if you haven't joined the Discord, here, wait, before you guys go, if you haven't joined the Discord and you want to join the Discord, there's the link. Bam. Thank you, Nightbot. Nightbot's always over in the corner. He's been chilling, been quiet tonight, but thank you. Yes, join the Discord if you want and come hang out with us. And I'll give you guys more updates when I get there. But seriously, we definitely need to do one this week because otherwise it'll be another 2 weeks. So we'll talk about it. And yes, I have a Discord. Bucho, you know that. Bucho, dang it. Just get out of here. Anyway, you guys have a great rest of your week. We'll see you hopefully on the Discord. If not, we'll see you next week. So bye and stuff. Bye. Oh, I guess I need to turn the music back up. Here we go. How's that? You get some music when you leave.